Sports, NFL football, and the NCAA basketball tournament. Don't miss anything. Keep your radio locked in right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sports Time with Wolo and Stacks. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, and Brett Stotts Norsworthy.
Sunshine abounds on this Wednesday. You got Wolo, you got Stats, we got our usual big Wednesday lineup, including the man everybody's talking about around town. That would be Ryan Silverfield. We'll find out if he knows anything new staff-wise, preparations for the bowl. We know he's going to be the coach and the play caller for that. We'll talk with Ryan Silverfield about that coming your way in about 25 minutes or so. You know, Ryan Silverfield is, I mean, people don't realize how much a Memphis guy he has been. He has had offers from NFL teams and great college teams, but great offers from NFL teams, some within the vicinity, you could say. And that he just really, truly loves Memphis, and we'll see where he is at. I have no idea when the university will pull the trigger on a permanent head coach, but I do know that a week from today is signing day. And I know the guy that's trying to keep that class together, we can talk to him about that too, is Ryan Silverfield. So I don't know when Laird Veach will pull the trigger. I know he's doing due diligence. We'll have to wait and see.
He should.
Exactly, when he's going to try to get this done. I would think, just by logistics, wouldn't you think you'd want to get this thing done by signing day, a week from today? Doesn't it make sense to get this done by next Sunday or Monday, somewhere in there?
Mm-hmm. Maybe even before the weekend, but for sure by then, and for sure before bowl preparation begins. But first and foremost, recruiting.
No doubt. You've got to.
But this is a big game.
Because really and truly, two, I think, sort of bind that class. To really get them, you got to say, I'm the guy. Don't you think? Don't you think it's the head coach by Wednesday who's got to say, yeah, I'm going to be here for you?
And Dave, there's not near the pressure in the Cotton Bowl against Penn State than it was from Temple on. This is kind of house money.
Oh, no. You're right.
Go out and cut loose.
This is reward city.
This is reward. And then cut loose. Now, if you win, the cachet of defeating Penn State in the Cotton Bowl will be big. If you lose, historic year, champion of your conference,
right? Get
them next time we get to this level.
No question. And
house money.
By the way, we got everybody back and
see you this time next year.
And we'll be here again.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just some news that's going on right now. We just found out not long ago, Ryan Boyce, the young man who played for Penny at East and was willing to walk on last year, he has entered the transfer portal.
Jason Munn's breaking that story at the Commercial Appeal, and he joins us at 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be all over that little game this weekend.
I'm glad that Ryan is making this move. Seriously. If you ever met him or his family,
yeah,
his family is so delightful. And it's pretty clear by the way that Penny has been able to recruit that Ryan wasn't going to have a chance to really play. And he's a good player. But he's been recruited sort of over. I hate to say it, but that's the reality of life. And so, he originally had committed to go to UAB. I think based on what everybody's told me after seeing UAB, he could be a starter at UAB.
Get a lot of shots and have a great college experience, and good luck.
So, I don't know.
House money for him, too.
I'm trying to remember. Well, I got it
doling
right
out
here.
the house cash.
I got it right here. I'm going to see how many games, because I think he gets this year back like a redshirt year.
Probably so.
So he'd have 3 years of eligibility somewhere They'd probably have to grant him that extra year.
Could he make a good enough case to get eligible in January?
I doubt it because, he decided to stay. He played in a total of 5 games.
I'll be a little surprised after spring semester classes start if he's the only one. I know nothing. I'm not going to make any predictions about who else it is, but we're down to one ball in a galaxy of stars.
I'll be surprised if anybody else leaves. Isaiah Maurice couldn't leave, and he's been starting. I don't see everybody else has played. That's the amazing thing is they last Saturday while we were all watching the championship game. Do you know this is without Quinones and without Wiseman there? You know how many guys played in that game?
11?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. I looked at the box score.
11 without those 2 guys.
Yeah. That's
usually when you're down, you're not playing that many people.
Dave, that's my case for I'll be surprised if one more doesn't think, boy, it's crowded here. Let me go somewhere and do my thing.
If you're going to say that seriously.
I don't know who.
Speculate on who it might be because everybody's
somebody down
playing.
there around 9th, 10th, or 11th, man. I mean, it's not going to be a starter, I don't think.
No. Well,
it's rank speculation.
It's not going to be James Wiseman.
I said I didn't know anything.
It's not going to be Precious Achua. It's not going to be DJ Jeffries. It's not going to be Lester Quinones. It's not going to be Boogie Ellis.
I'm not going to name anybody.
It's not going to be Alo. It's not going to be, he's certainly not 9th or 10th. It's not going to be Tyler Harris. He's played in every game, and he's averaging 20 minutes. That's about what everybody else is averaging. It's not going to be Damian Ball. He started every game. He's playing 20 minutes. It's not going to be Lance Thomas, I don't think. I mean, that might be a guy, but I'd be a little bit surprised. Isaiah Maurice can't go anywhere, and he started 4 of the 8 games he's played, and he just didn't play at all in the first game. It's not going to be Jaden.
May I lodge throw a lob a high hard one at you?
Yes.
With Drew, you ready? You join in on
I'm
the
ready
one as well. And listeners at 67129 at the First Bank text line. With the musical chairs at number 1 in the Associated Press so far this year in college basketball, before conference tournament starts, will the Tigers be number 1? Because everybody's kind of trading it. You be it this week. You be it next week.
That really is a tough one. That's can I give you a caveat with it? If they were to win this
Your name's
Saturday,
at the top of the marquee. You can do anything you want.
If they were to win,
You got 38 years
in
this
Knoxville,
man.
you know how many they've won in a row? The Vols and Thompson
You're
Bowling?
Dave Wolo. You vote for the Wooden Award, the Heisman. What other awards?
I don't know. I'll try to get you on some more. Don't worry about
Natalie
it.
dressed from James Davis today. You're Dave Wolo. You can have any caveats you want.
This is for taping some interviews for the Penny Show.
You look great.
Thank you.
Love the frames. You can do whatever you want, Dave.
Okay, here's the caveat then. As long as you're going to let me do that. If Memphis beats Tennessee
You can too, Drew.
without Wiseman and Quinones, and that would make them 9-1. And when you look at their upcoming schedule, Jackson State, New Orleans, then Tulane, those are all home games.
Tulane's
Georgia
better.
is at home.
Georgia good, then Wichita State.
That would be tricky. And then after that, you're getting everybody back. And you're going to get Quinones. If they win that Tennessee game, I'm going to say yes.
True.
Well, I don't really have the clout that Dave Voloshin has, so I'm just going to go ahead and just say
You got
yes.
a great-looking T-shirt on.
Oh, I
with
appreciate that.
The through the years Tiger football helmets, though.
I appreciate that. I'm gonna say yes due to the fact that everybody seems to be losing in front of you. So as long as you don't have a downward spiral and you go on even if you lose this weekend, go on the type of run that we think that they can, I'm gonna say maybe not 1, but at least in the top 3.
I'm going to go above both of y'all. No caveats. Yes.
Wow. You realize where they sit in the coaches poll? They're 13th in the AP, but
said AP.
They're 17th. You're going only
distinctly
AP?
said AP.
Well,
the oldest news gathering body in this country.
Last night, 3 from the list. I texted you. They were falling like flies. Last night, say goodbye to the unbeaten list. Louisville, Maryland, and you predicted before they did lose, Butler.
By 1.
To a good Baylor team.
I think Baylor had a 16-point lead in that game
They did.
at one point, didn't they?
It almost went away.
In a game that finished 53-52, and you had a 16-point lead?
Right. When nobody was scoring. Right. Good point. Yeah. So they all fell last night. Now you realize there are still 5 left.
Maryland should be mad at me. Every time I've ever praised Mark Turgeon through the years, no matter the job he's been in, whatever place, next time out, I think they lose. It's all my fault, Greg Gaston, for your alma mater.
They did not look good last night.
They did not. He looked checked out on the bench. He wasn't raising Cain.
Can I tell you one thing, though? I saw that Penn State team in person at the Barclays Center. They're a good team. And here's the one thing that I like about Memphis, even though they didn't go to a hostile territory until last week, they at least went away from home. That was the first game Maryland had played on the road, and there is something to that.
That's why that's why the marquee's so big. That's a great point. No, seriously, that's a great point. Just being a wiseacre. That's a great point. That first time out, and this time of year, a lot of different things going on. Finals, a little bit around a homesick, or maybe getting ready to go home for the first time, probably since the end of the last session of summer school and fall semester, maybe a time or two. It's a lot going on around this time of year, and a lot of coaches, they don't really mind a loss out there right now. They don't want one. I mean, they're not looking forward to one. If they lose this time of year, you can get them back in there and kind of have December Junction Boys comes to basketball.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to ask you a high-hard one right now. There are 5 left. Okay?
Can I have a caveat?
You can. When your name is attached to mine, you get caveats, baby. So those 5 are Auburn,
Sportstime,
Duquesne,
with Dave Wooloshin and Brett Northworthy.
San Diego State.
I'm never going.
At least you're on the sign.
I'm never going to be on the top of the marquee ever.
At least you're on the marquee.
I've never been top of the marquee in radio ever.
Just appreciate that you're on one. I'm still not on.
Grasshopper, you're still young. Patience.
I always
Patience.
involve you. I always involve
I know you do.
Auburn, Duquesne, San Diego State, Ohio State.
Great question. I looked at their
and
schedules.
Liberty.
Yeah.
They are the only ones. So the best team to remain undefeated for the year
Auburn.
by the ESPN, no, sir, Liberty. Liberty, by their prognostications.
Did I miss Liberty at the Final Four last year?
No. I'm just saying to you, they're not playing anybody either.
I saw one potential toe stubber. Auburn's got one coming up soon. I got to look at it again to see.
So my question for you is, I think
The
you
last
already
remaining?
know, will they all drop before January 1st, which was your original contention
January
2
1st.
weeks ago?
Yes.
Do you think they'll all be done?
Yes.
They'll all have an L.
It's that narrow out there.
Who by January 1st does Auburn have? I know we could look that up.
I got
really
the
quick.
schedule in front of me if you want it.
Yeah, give us Auburn between now and January 1st.
All right. St. Louis at home, then NC State at
St.
home.
Louis, by the way, is
Lehigh
good.
at home, and Lipscomb at home.
Well, NC State's good.
Oh, NC State could beat them. St. Louis, but they're all at home, right? All
Yes.
5 of those games?
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis, which is a good team. NC State, which is a good
Auburn's
team.
got a great arena now.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to differ with you on this one. I think they're not going to be undefeated for
Now,
the year.
I think they're playing Auburn's playing St. Louis in Birmingham this Saturday in the Mike Slive Invitational.
Okay, because it just says verse, so I took it at face value.
It's in Birmingham for sure?
Liberty plays
That's-
Vandy this Saturday.
Oh, Liberty's done. I don't know why ESPN had that. I can't see how Liberty wins that. How about the way we're talking about Liberty? Oh, and by the way, I guess
I knew Hugh Freeze
I
would
guess
come
that
around.
we could take Hugh Freeze off the list because he got a contract extension by Liberty yesterday. That
Yeah.
accepting a contract extension is saying I'm not on the
Out at
market
dinner
anymore.
last night in Oxford,
I,
Lane
I,
Kiffin.
I thought that was interesting. He was.
Boy, y'all
He was
jumped down my
listed-
throat at why. I said, well, maybe they're friends and just wanted to go eat.
Just hold on a second. He was a candidate, and I think he was a a candidate that wanted the gig for the U of M job, okay? And then he accepted the contract extension with Liberty. So what's the deal with Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss?
I don't know. I don't know if he does or doesn't still have his house in Oxford. I just don't know, but
That could be.
I didn't find it near as conspiratorial as most.
But wait a second. Even if you still got that house in Oxford, aren't you preparing for a bowl game? Don't we have a signing date a week from today?
How do we know he wasn't in the area recruiting and decided to slip over there and
could
have dinner?
Oh, they could. And for all I know, they could be buddies.
They can afford to.
They could have played golf down in Boca.
You know the house Hugh Freeze bought. It's a great house, and he had turned into kind of not a man cave, but a kind of golf area on it, and they called it Danny's World. Danny Nutt. It was Danny Nutt's
Is that
house.
right?
And I mean, it was basically 2 par 3s that he had constructed in a hitting area down there. It was really cool.
I wonder who bought it.
That's what Hugh Freeze bought. He bought it from Danny Nutt.
Right, but now he's not there anymore. He's
I don't know if
living
he
in
sold
Virginia.
or not. I don't know who he sold it to. If somebody bought it, they got him 2 nice par 3s.
Wow, that would be a lot of
If
fun.
you're a golfer.
Speaking of
If you're not, that's
Lane
a lot of grass
Kiffin.
to keep up. But if you buy that house, you can get somebody to mow the yard.
Speaking of Lane, there's a really interesting story in The Athletic today, and it is about Lane Kiffin wanting revenge on Nick Saban for firing Nick basically after the semifinal game when he went down to FAU. He could have coached in the championship game, which Alabama lost, and apparently Lane has never forgotten nor forgiven for that, and he's going after several of the Alabama coaching staff, including apparently the guy who's been there forever, the strength coach, who is, one of the more popular coaches in the whole Nick Saban tenure.
Yeah, Scott Cochran and Wilson Love already on the staff in a strength and conditioning role. That was his guy at FAU, and he played at Alabama and has been in the Alabama shop. That strength and conditioning shop at Alabama is producing them for everybody out there in college football.
By the way, he's offered that guy a real, I shouldn't say real. It is not as a strength and conditioning coach. It is as a person on the staff, which means he can pay him more.
Yeah, and Wilson Love, very, very capable. This hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Everybody at Lexus Memphis wishes everyone in our listening audience a happy holidays and Merry Christmas and upcoming happy 2020. You can call them at 362-8833. They're offering the Golden Opportunity December to Remember sales event. Great offers on all the 2019 models that remain, the 2020s that have rolled in, and always special lease options. Driving luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Lexus of Memphis, the highest standards in the industry. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design that makes for the luxury driving experience. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving in style. Online at lexusofmemphis.com, 362-8833. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
You remember Jarrett Culver, don't you?
I do.
With Texas Tech last year.
Final Four last year.
And now with the Minnesota Timberwolves as a rookie. His brother, who's older actually, his brother is a guard for an NAIA school called Wayland Baptist. Last night they were playing Southwest Adventist.
Waylon and Willie and the boys Baptist.
This is Wayland. Wayland Baptist.
He went with the Stilt, didn't he?
Jay Culver did. He got 100 points. He was 34 of 62 from the field, including 12 of 33. So more than half of his shots were from three-point range. Very good at the line, 20 of 27.
How many assists?
I don't think he had any. In a 124-60 rout. So he had 100, and the rest of the team had 24 points. He's the second guy, by the way.
Where did he do it?
To do it. He did it, I think it was, I don't know if it was at Southwest Adventist or at home, but I think it was.
What Dateline Hershey, PA was it?
No, it was not.
Will Stilt did?
No, but the last guy who did it, not named Wilt Chamberlain, there was another NAIA guy who did it in 1953. He averages 36 points a game. He's a good player.
A million years ago, Frank Selvey at Furman had a big game in Division I. I don't think it was 100, but I don't know what year he did it. My top story, Garrett Cole signs for $324. Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys for $140 million. FedEx Forum was built for $260 million. New Busch Stadium was built for $365 million. The Pavilion at Ole Miss was built for $125 million. And the Pyramid, once upon a time, was built for $60 million. George Steinbrenner bought the Yankees in 1973 for $8 million. They're now worth $3 billion. The money's unreal.
It is unreal. And by the way, this courtesy of John Harden, that is $1 million per start based on last year's numbers, $1.8 million per win, $134,000 per strikeout.
Where do you think he's going to live in Manhattan?
Wherever he wants to.
That's the right answer. Wherever
36 mil a year, buddy, is a pretty good tax bracket
Wherever he wants
to be in.
Not top story of the day.
The Russian boxers are mad.
They are?
Yeah.
What's got them so sore?
Well, the World Anti-Doping Association, better known as WADA, through the Olympic movement, have made Russian athletes ineligible to compete in next year's summer games, in the winter games following that 2 years later, because they've been cheaters. And they continue to cheat even more.
No.
They were supposed to be helping because they got caught, and they were so. And to me, the Olympic movement, it's a farce. They can't compete.
Cheating at the
Wait.
Olympics. What's next,
They can't
Dave?
compete.
Cheating in college football recruiting?
With a Russian uniform or under the banner of the Russian flag, okay?
So they'll be
but they're allowing them to still compete.
Yeah, I like it in the opening ceremony
Right.
when they come in and it's basically the unaffiliated athletes.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
But last time there were a bunch who couldn't compete at all. But
What flag do you
this time
carry in? A big
they're
up
allowing
yours?
them. They're allowing them all to still compete. It's like, really? They shouldn't be allowed at all because they actually deleted stuff. They were supposed to be helping solve the cheating, and they're still cheating. A little like the New England way.
They did it last year during the Winter Olympics, and they were under the Olympic flag itself.
Right.
It was the flag that they used.
So they could still basically do this, and they're upset about that. They
Do
should
they
be
come
allowed.
in,
I got news for you.
covering their face?
They should not be allowed to compete at all. Honestly, that should be the penalty. They got away with this to still be able to compete, and they're still unhappy, saying they might not come to the games at all unless their sanctions are lifted. Good luck to you guys. I hope you don't compete.
I'm looking forward to the Summer Olympics, even excuse me, even those guys Dave's going to boo. My not top story, it's about time Tiger Woods is captain of either a Ryder Cup or President's Cup. What took so long? And it sounds like Phil Mickelson will be Ryder Cup captain in 2024 at Bethpage. Tiger's playing record in President's Cups all time, 24, 15, and 1.
Yeah, I knew that was good. Don't ask about the Ryder Cup.
Not so
record.
good there. Fred Couples has got to be in the queue for Ryder Cup captaincy, doesn't he? At some
For
point.
whatever reason, there's a differentiation, and we should ask Tet Butler or somebody about this. Maybe TJ Reeves later in the program. Fred is a President's Cup guy, and he's been twice. He doesn't meet the requirements, and I forget what they are, to be a Ryder Cup guy. It's crazy stuff. Yeah. I don't know. He should be. I would agree with you.
Well, used to the Ryder Cup was so tied to the PGA of America, and the PGA champion would get on the team automatically up until about 89.
Those are your top and your not top stories of the day. Again, coming up in just a couple of minutes, Ryan Silverfield, Mike DeCourcy at 4 o'clock, Rick Horrow, our business expert and Harvard professor at 4:30, TJ Reeves at 5, Jason Munz, who broke the story about Ryan Boyce today, he will be on at 5:30, Crunch Time at 5:50. It's busy, 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 and the interim head coach of the University of Memphis football team is next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
So, how's the Christmas shopping going? Well, Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch is here to make it a lot easier. Everyone loves something from Frontier. Ladies' boutique-style clothing, Carhartt for the guys, and boots for everyone. In Frontier's boutique department, you'll find the latest trends at incredible prices, with a huge inventory of basics like leggings, tops, tunic dresses, CC beanies, scarves, gloves, and more. New styles of fleece jackets by Simply Southern are this year's must-have item, and Frontier is stocked with new colors. Guys will be after the large assortment of Carhartt and Ariat jeans and shirts, maybe even a new coat, jacket, or insulated coveralls. Can't forget the boots. Work boots and dress boots from Rocky, Dan Post, Ariat, and more. Frontier is the place to come for thousands of name brand boots for men, women, and kids at everyday low prices. Don't know the size or color to get? Then how about a Frontier gift card and let them pick it out? Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking, no telephone pole to get in your way, a cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. Their newly renovated drive-in repair shop is open to the public. Whether it'll be your everyday driver, farm equipment, fleet vehicle, or heavy-duty truck, their ASE-certified technicians will get you back on the road. The on-site dyno is ready to run all the necessary diagnostic testing. From preventative maintenance to complete overhauls, Mid-South Power can handle it all. Stop in today at 3288 Mill Branch Road or call 901-396-0710 and online at mid-southpower.com.
Summers span decades, winters can last a lifetime, and the struggle for the Iron Throne continues in Game of Thrones: The Final Season. Get it now on 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD. The complete series also available on Blu-ray and DVD, now for purchase, but you could win it right here on Sports 56 with help from your friend Johnny Radio. Johnny's giving away 4 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and 4 digital copies. Who loves you this holiday season like Johnny? Nobody.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochen and Brett Norsworthy.
Welcome back into the Family Leisure Studios. As promised, the interim head coach of the University of Memphis, Ryan Silverfield, joins us now, a man who is very, very busy indeed. And the word came down yesterday, Ryan, that we know Mike Norvell is not going to coach in the bowl. So now you know for sure that you're going to be the man, and I guess you're going to be calling the plays. Good afternoon. How are you? How has this whirlwind been for you?
Good afternoon, guys. I appreciate y'all having me on. Very, very excited. It's been fun. You know, everyone keeps saying, how are you handling it? But it's exactly how I wanted it. Could have asked for it any other way. And And, it's been so nice along this whole path has been the support I've gotten, people asking to help and do whatever they can to make this transition easier. But a lot of excitement and heading in the right direction for sure.
And Coach, I'd like to say congratulations to you and that staff and the departed Mike Norvell for the ride you've taken football fans and Tiger fans on this year. I only got to see you guys in the first game of the year and on Saturday against Cincinnati, and in between, what a year you had and what a ride y'all have had. Congratulations to you and all the hard work you put in.
Well, I appreciate that. Certainly all the credit goes to the young men. Our student athletes have done a fantastic job throughout the year, staying focused on the task at hand. Proud of what they've accomplished. But the nice thing is that they're still hungry. They know we've got a game on the 28th. It's going to be monumental, in the history of this program, the Cotton Bowl, and down in Dallas. And, that's why I continue to beg our fans to show up and buy our tickets, through the Memphis Athletic Department. But, very proud of what we've accomplished, but we still got one more game to play.
In the position that you are in right now, how do you prioritize? What's the most important thing? You got a signing day a week from today. You got a game you got to prepare for. You got to start coming up with a practice schedule. How do you prioritize?
Great question. Well, it will always be my number one priority will be to serve my current players, 100%. I've got to make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to within our program in order to have success. So my priority since the second that I was named interim head coach has been to focus on our players, whether that be to do well this week academically with their exams, to make sure the structure is provided for them, to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to in the weight room, living right and doing all those things. That's priority number one, and always will be. That will never waver regardless of the situation. But then, Sunday night I was in home doing a recruiting visit, and 2 a.m. I was planning out practices the other night for next week, and so there's a lot of things to take on, but certainly, like I just mentioned, I wouldn't have asked for it any other way, and it's been fun. It's been crazy busy, but a positive way, and seen a lot of positive results from it so far.
Have you met with your captains? Have you met with your seniors? Just them to kind of go over things, what you expect of them during this bowl preparation and run up to playing Penn State?
Yeah, the nice thing is we've created a culture over the last 4 years here where really the players police themselves. They understand the culture we've created, and it's nice. So I'm not sitting there worried about what they're doing. Yes, I check in on our players and make sure they're doing okay, but at the end of the day, we've got a place in a culture that's been put in place and set. They understand the way that things are supposed to be done in all walks of life, and that's what's so huge. Is I'm not sitting there, whether I'm out of town worried about what they're doing or how they're doing it. They're going about their business the right way, with 100% attendance at study hall and the weight room, living right. And so that's the nice thing is we be able to create that with our student athletes here. We got so many fine young men that are doing it the right way. So it's really it puts me at ease in my current position for sure.
Coach Silverfield, isn't that the best locker room to have? The one that it doesn't get to you until it really has to get to you. That they've policed it, that they've taken care of things before it has to get to you for any disciplinary matter or maybe even attitude or playing time matter.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so very fortunate. Again, it's a culture we helped create over the years. We talk about the things that the pillars of our program, right? We talk about service, sacrifice, and respect, but providing standards for our guys, a standard and excellence in everything we want to accomplish, right? That's part of who we are, and having that understanding. That we talk about having structure, right? That structure hasn't changed just because there may be a new name on the head coach's door, right? We're still going to do that. We're still going to hold our players accountable, and that's the nice thing is that they police themselves. They've got leadership. They've been very, very bought into the way we do things and continue along that path.
I mentioned that looming recruiting day. That's next Wednesday, a week from today. And I know you can't speak about individual recruits, and I know you've been responsible for bringing many of the stars on this team today into the fold. But what has the reaction been as you've gone around? I know you've been recruiting like crazy. What has been the reaction since Mike decided to go to Florida State?
Yeah, it's anytime you lose such a figure as Mike Norvell. Obviously, so much credit goes to him. I mean, so grateful for the opportunity he gave me. He brought me to Memphis, so I'm forever indebted to him. I think the world of Mike, and I think everybody knows that. But, from every home I've been in to every school, they realize what we've built at Memphis is long-term. It's not just hey, well, that's it. Now it's back to the old Memphis days. They realize what we have here. And it starts with the university. It starts with the leadership, right? The University of Memphis has become a national brand. What we're doing academically, right? Internship opportunities, 7th in the country in internships. I mean, it doesn't matter who's sitting behind that head coaching door because that is something you can sell. And, obviously the support of the city, the culture of our wonderful city that so many people love. And those are things that are easy to sell. And just being myself, I think that just, that's the part that probably I got to push more than anything. Hey, you got to get them to fall in love with me. But at the end of the day, university, our football program speaks for itself, and it makes it a lot easier going. And we've had a positive reaction. We've had since I've been here, or since Sunday morning, we hadn't had a single decommit or a single player enter the transfer portal. And you look at programs where coaches have been there for over 5 years, and they've got a handful of guys entering the transfer portal because they don't like the situation they're in. And I've had a chance almost to speak with every single one of our players. They're excited about the direction we're heading, and all hands on deck and all in. Let's go.
I'm sure it would be a lot easier for everybody if indeed by next Wednesday or a couple of days before there was a final decision on who the permanent head coach is going to be. Have you been alerted by any means of what the time frame might be?
Yeah, well, I know this. I'll probably sleep better once there's been a final verdict. But, I've got great respect for Laird Beach and his staff, Jeff Crane and all those people involved that will be involved with this search, and they're going to do their due diligence, right? Now, and then rightfully so. I want them to go, like I mentioned in my press conference, I want them to go look all over, and I think it's great. It's beneficial. It's healthy, especially with him being an AD that is relatively new to the Memphis area, and go see what else is out there. And then, like I said, at the end of the day, hopefully that they realize the person that's here to lead this team moving forward is right here. So that's all I can hope for. Again, I don't want this to turn in about me. This is about our current players, about the Cotton Bowl. I mean, what an exciting. I mean, we can't get lost in this whole shuffle. I almost feel bad for the players that they won the AAC championship, something that's eluded us for the last few years. So just so proud of what they've accomplished and everything they've done on and off the field, what they're doing, in the classroom. So again, this doesn't need necessarily be about the coaching search, though it is certainly a big deal around the city, but I want it to be about the success our team has and what the exciting times ahead on the 28th in Dallas.
All right, Coach, I do want you to take it something about you. What was your favorite moment, win of the year, either for your offensive line or the offensive side or maybe team-oriented? What was your favorite moment of the year, and maybe that moment where you knew this team is something to be reckoned with?
Yeah, you can go to so many of the games. Obviously, game day was so special. I think, just that SMU game, when you look, you come out of the locker room and you see the Liberty Bowl filled to the brim, thousands upon thousands of passionate Memphis Tiger fans, all in their blue, there to support their Memphis Tigers, their football team, the city's team. That brought so much joy to me, and that day meant so much to the city, to the 901. I take so much pride in that. I mentioned this before, that I'd like to claim I'm a Memphian. I hope the people of Memphis will accept me for that, because I truly call this place home. I love this place. And so, what occurred on that SMU with game day being here, what it meant for the city and the national exposure, and put the spotlight on how wonderful this place is, was fantastic. But, all the wins are good ones. The winning the AAC West was great. And then, and just to look at the joy in our young men's face Saturday night when the confetti was finally falling on our home turf and they were able to win the championship. It did my heart well. So, I don't ever sit there and necessarily look at the wins. It's more of the impact and what it meant to our young men.
You do have this bowl game coming up, and there's a very neat, I think, story of your relationship, kind of, with James Franklin at a bowl game of all places. Would you share that with us?
Sure. Yeah. So James and I have gone way back. I've got great respect for Coach Franklin and the Penn State football program, but when I started coaching in 1999, hence why I've got some gray in the sides. And look tired all the time. But this is now my 21st year of coaching, and I was Coach Franklin's coaches host for the 2003 Gator Bowl. So a lot of these bowl games give individual position coaches and football coaches of the programs that are coming to their city really a host or a sponsor. And I was a young coach at the time, coaching small college football in Virginia, and I was back in my hometown of Jacksonville, and I was always signed up to be a coach's host because it gave me a chance to meet other coaches. And I met Coach Franklin there. I was actually his coach's host, and he was younger at the time. And he had asked, I said, well, what can I do for you when you get to town? He said, you know what, young lad, the only thing I need you to do is go pick up my fiance or his girlfriend at the time and at the airport. And so I did that, and, sure enough, they're married and have a few children for sure, and had a wonderful marriage, but we kind of go back and jab at that. And then at some point down our career, he was did an internship for us when I was with the Minnesota Vikings. So him and I have gone back and forth through our careers, having a relationship, and really look forward to him. I've got so much respect, obviously, the Penn State program, but the Memphis Tigers will be there and represented well down at the Cotton Bowl.
That actually is I love that
Great
story.
story.
I can't wait to hear Franklin's side of that myself. Do you
He
know?
probably don't remember me. You know how that works.
He'll remember. then you knew him at the Vikings, so he's got to remember you. So tell me, do you know your staff as to who for sure is coming to the game and who's going somewhere else?
Sure. This profession, you have to always be on your toes, right? It's things are very fluid. Anytime you have a head coaching change, but I've got a general idea of the staff, and if the staff want to be able to put together. And look, we've got wonderful assistant coaches here, and that's what's made this thing work. Again, all the credit to Coach Norvell, but we've got from our support staff to our position coaches, we've got so many people that have done an excellent job in creating what we want to create on and off the field here. And so, I've got a pretty good idea of who will be alongside us down in Dallas. And again, we even tell the players, look, it's what we got is all we need, and the mantra of Memphis versus everybody that will stand till the end of time.
Mm-hmm.
And, so whoever it is, whether it's all hands on deck or whatever it may be, we'll make it work. And I know our players will be so excited to go out there and perform at their highest level.
I know this question has been asked a bunch by fans, and that is about your play calling, because you've been involved as a run game coordinator and all the protections on the offensive side. But I think it's been a while since you called plays in a game. I know you did it as a high school coach. I don't know if you ever did that in the NFL, but are you comfortable? Will you be the one calling the plays at the Cotton Bowl?
So what we'll probably do is Kevin Johns has done a fantastic job as our offense coordinator. Right, make no mistake. Mike Norvell called the plays here. But there's a reason why our offensive staff is still here and has decided to stick around even through the change, because I think they believe in what we can accomplish offensively. But Coach Johns is going to, have a heavy hand in the play calling, and I'm there to assist them, right? And that's how I am for all of our assistants. I've been able to coach in all three phases of the game, and that's my job as a head coach, is to serve our assistant coaches as well. But, I think people make such a big deal about it. I think the relationship with, our quarterback, Brady White, was asked at the press conference, and I think that's so important. Having to understand what we're trying to do offensively. I think I have a pretty good feel for our offense and what we may need to accomplish. Obviously, I want to study Penn State some more. And so at the end of the day, come the 27th, the game plan's set, and we're ready to roll for the next day. But we'll be just fine, and I've got utmost respect and admiration for our staff, and I know they'll be able to do their job at a high level.
Just an interesting note from Kevin Johns. This was earlier in the year, but it's such a benefit to have a guy like Brady White around, because Kevin would have told you when maybe he was even midway through this first season that the guy who knows the offense better than anybody else is Brady White. So that's an advantage to have a guy that smart, that experienced, be the guy that you can really count on the field.
Absolutely, 100%. Couldn't agree with you more. I mean, Brady is, look, I gush when I talk about him. What a fine young man, first and foremost. I mean, anybody that's ever been around him knows that he's an utmost respect for him, that he does everything the right way. Graduated early. I think he's probably Dr. White by now with all the degrees he's worked on. But,
he will be.
Yeah, he will be. That's for sure. But, Brady and I had the chance to sit down before I got out of town on Sunday. And, I think we have mutual respect for each other. And, he's excited. He's really excited about the football game, the Cotton Bowl, and he's excited about the 2020 football season. Obviously, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but, we look forward to staying side by side and taking this thing to continue to head in the right direction.
I know he's coming back for sure. I chatted with his parents after the game. Always a pleasure chatting with you. I know I'm going to be chatting a lot more with you over the next couple of weeks, and I thoroughly look forward to that. I really, truly do, and we wish you the very best of luck.
Well, guys, I truly appreciate it, and again, I'm so humbled and honored to have this opportunity. And whatever comes of it, my love for the University of Memphis will always be strong, and for this city. And again, I encourage to see our fans to go purchase tickets through the Memphis Athletic Department. And can't wait to see you guys all down in Dallas.
You will see us. We appreciate it, Ryan.
Thank you, Coach.
Keep going strong. Go see those recruits and everything else you've got to do.
I'm about to head out the office to go see some now. Thanks, and go Tigers.
Sleep's overrated, Coach. Thank you.
That is Ryan Silverfield. That was excellent. And since he brought it up, I am told Penn State has just about sold out of their 13,000 allotment, and they are coming from State College, Pennsylvania, Happy Valley. That's a lot further than it is from there to Dallas than Memphis to Dallas.
Hit the Google. I bet they have to come through here on MapQuest.
They may, if they're driving. Now, Memphis has sold only about half of their allotment. So I really hope Tiger fans will get to GoTigersGo.com or to the ticket office and get on board.
This is a great Penn State team. Lost by 5 at Minnesota in the snow and played Ohio State closer than anybody all year. Lost by 11 to them.
Lost by only 11. The one game I really did watch a lot was the Minnesota game. They rode the boat on them. We take the break. We're back in just a minute. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find real sports talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system tuned up? Did you know your heating system can lose up to 5% efficiency every year it skips a tune-up? Why compromise your family's comfort? Good news, it's heating system tune-up time at Conway Services. Schedule your heating system tune-up today for just $57. Not only will you save big, but we'll also include a Google Home Mini absolutely free while supplies last. That's right, get Conway Services 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-up on your heating system for only $57 and get a Google Home Mini absolutely free. The experts at Conway Services will make sure your heating system is ready for those cold winter nights, all for only $57, and we'll include a Google Home Mini absolutely free. Why trust your comfort to anyone else? Stay warm and stay connected. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
I almost never go to Central Barbecue without running into somebody I know.
That could be because you only eat at Central Barbecue.
It's because Central Barbecue is where Memphians go to get barbecue and has consistently been voted the most popular barbecue restaurant among locals.
Actually, that's really saying something.
I know. Memphis is the nation's capital of barbecue. With all the choices, people who live here go to Central Barbecue.
They do get their share of tourists.
Sure, because Central Barbecue has been mentioned on TV and in tons of national publications. You know why?
Because of the great food?
Because those TV shows and magazines look for the place where the locals go, and that, my friend, is Central Barbecue.
It's that time of year. Come join us at Family Leisure, 2120 Winton Road, Thursday, December 12th, all day, 7 to 6. We're raising money and, most importantly, bringing toys for Mid-South Toys for Tots. Help the boys and girls of the Mid-South have a happy holiday. You can do it. Bring those new unwrapped toys, checks, cash. Family Leisure, 2120 Winton Road, Thursday, December 12th, 7 to 6. Sponsored by Envy Nail Bar, Gateway Tire, David C. Nanny CPA in Hempville, South Haven, and Oxford.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Welcome back into the Family Leisure Studios, and a reminder, we do have the half-off Christmas sale going on right now. You buy one, you get one half off. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for your friend or your family, maybe yourself, now's the time to buy. Because if you go to Family Leisure right now, you buy one item for maybe somebody special, then the second one is half off, and that could be for somebody else very special or for you. I like that idea. Get the best deals now until Christmas Eve. Pool tables as low as $14.99. Arcades down to $9.99. Those massage chairs $6.99. And even hot tubs. Listen to this price, $1,400. Stop by Family Leisure now. Get in your Christmas shopping. Get it all done right now and join us tomorrow. A reminder, we will be at Toys for Tots.
All day.
All day tomorrow, starting with Peter and CJ with the experience. That's
best day of the year.
In the morning at 7. Then it'll be followed by Greg and Eli. It'll be followed by Johnny. And then you and me.
And us. And the reason why it's the best day of the year is because of you, the listeners, and the people that forever, as long as we've been doing this, all the truckloads of toys and the cash and just everything that you've done, and literally all the cash. It's amazing to see people come by and
putting $100 bills in. That's what I like.
Part with their hard-earned cash to help somebody else. And that really is what the season's all about. 67129 at our First Bank text line. Texter says, Penn State fans think it's going to be easy over the Tigers. It says Penn State fans think Memphis has no chance. Texter says wrong. I say wrong as well, because remember last year Penn State had the same attitude going into that bowl game against Kentucky. Started slow, got way behind, frenzied, finished to come up a little short. Now they could be motivated by that if there's motivation out there around this time of year. Because Dave, you are right about there's a lot of different agendas out there right now.
No doubt.
Bring your own motivation.
When in doubt, look what Vegas says. A 7-point differential.
I don't think that's that big.
Is not a very insurmountable ball game. That is for sure. There is some breaking news. Florida Atlantic has found their replacement for Lane Kiffin. He is Willie Taggart.
That's a good hire.
Willie Taggart.
He wanted the South Florida job.
I know he did. And they went a different way. I hope he does a better job than he did at Florida State.
If he does more
I don't know what happened there.
Kentucky and South Florida, he will. I'm trying to find the over and under in the Tigers Penn State. Have you seen that?
No.
Haven't either. I wonder how high scoring they think it would be.
I think I might have.
Go to your trusty newspaper, Dave.
Yeah, I will. I'm still one of those guys who's a believer in print journalism that doesn't come
I'll go to the gold sheet.
from
It's actually what it is in
internet.
Vegas.
60 is the over-under.
Okay. That's not wild. No.
60.5 on the gold sheet.
Okay. Half point makes a difference.
Absolutely.
Sometimes
It can. It absolutely
Either
can.
really good victory or a crushing loss.
So you were correct. If you're driving from State College to go to Dallas,
Right
you
through
got to
Memphis,
come right
huh?
through Memphis. Pick up a buddy. What's the mileage on that?
1,485 miles. 22 hours and 13 minutes.
Boy, think how much
estimate.
the radio
Wow.
crew is going to make on the gas mileage, though.
I got news for you. That radio crew's flying.
Are they?
Yeah. Most people are flying. Fans might not be, but the team.
So they come right
is
through
absolutely
Memphis and
flying.
through left Memphis, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then they take the route the Tigers fans will take the rest of the way.
Incidentally, one last thing. If you missed the Ryan Silverfield interview, Drew has already put it up on the website, so you can still get it if you missed it, and I thought he was very insightful. The more that I hear from Ryan Silverfield, the more I'm convinced he's the
head
guy.
coach.
He's head coach, and he will keep what was going on here. You know, this is an interesting sort of way to look at cultures. Barry Odom, who almost became the coach the last time here, and he took it and then turned it down. But Barry Odom was the old culture. He was connected with Justin Fuente. And that
was a good culture.
That would have absolutely, it was a great culture, and that would have been the continuation of that sort of era. Well, this time around, Ryan Silverfield is that same guy from this culture. And frankly, this
better.
culture was even better.
I mean, results matter, don't they?
And this recruiting class is by this particular culture. There's food for thought. I know Laird Veach and Dr. Rudd and everybody else involved in this decision, which they've made two great decisions the last two times.
Haven't they?
They will have it figured out. That is for certain. We take the break. We've got to take this time out at the top of the hour. We will let you know. Coming up in just a minute, we'll switch to hoops, and Mike DeCourcy is going to join us. There is some news, and we mentioned it a little earlier on the hoops side. Ryan Boyce, young man from East High School, who's was a walk-on last year, and I'm not sure if I think he was getting Scholastic scholarship money this past semester. He is in the transfer portal. We only wish him the best. He's a terrific kid from a terrific family. He's a really good basketball player, and he would start at a place like UAB. But the Tigers have sort of recruited over him, and he deserves a shot to play. I only wish him and his family the very, very, very best. We take this time out. Back in a minute. Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News is next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Whether you're a casual golfer or an avid golfer, let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you fill your wish list with the season's best deals in golf. Featuring special holiday offers from TaylorMade. Save $5 on TaylorMade TP5 and TP5X golf balls, now only $39.99. And featuring the new TaylorMade Mill Grind 2 wedges for $169.99. And while you're there, register to win free golf balls for a year. The Edwin Watts Golf Shops holiday sale is at our new location in the Ridgeway Trace Shopping Center. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Time to put up the tree.
Funny thing about the holidays is, nothing flies by faster.
Time for family photos. Time to cut the turkey. Time to open gifts. Time to take down the tree. Happy New Year!
Well, actually, the Lexus December to Remember sales event also goes by fast. That's because for a very limited time, you'll find some of our best offers on our most popular models. But don't wait. Offers end January 2nd. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Lexus of Memphis.
It's the Built for the Holidays sales event at Ford. It's a big deal, and we're busy making preparations to get you the best deals of the year. Because unlike Santa's presents, ours just don't magically appear. At Ford, ours are built in real factories, where pickup trucks come with best-in-class payload, where SUVs are built with available features like terrain management and driver assist technologies, and where you can get 20% estimated savings on select Ford SUVs and trucks. You don't have to write Santa a letter to get these presents, naughty or nice. Just come see your Ford dealer during our holiday sales event. Best-in-class payload when properly configured. Class is light-duty pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR based on Ford segmentation. Eligible on select 2019 model year vehicles. Vehicle must have arrived at dealer at least 61 days prior to the sale date. Estimated savings include an average dealer discount based on a sales survey of average discounts offered by Ford dealers nationally. Discount may vary. Dealer determines price. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 1/2/2020. See participating dealer for complete details.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales. You know, it's better to give than receive, right? When you donate a gift at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch, you can receive a free lunch this Friday beginning at 11 a.m. Just bring a toy to All-Star Chevy for the kids at Winchester Elementary this Friday beginning at 11 a.m. There are also free prizes, and Greg and Eli from Sports 56 will be broadcasting live from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. While you're there, check out the new Silverado Traverses and the all-new Chevy Blazer. And if you buy one, you could save thousands paying what the employees pay. So come on out this Friday for free lunch and prizes, and bring a toy to donate to Winchester Elementary from All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and Sports 56.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome in, hour number 2 on a gorgeous, sunshiny, wintry kind of day. On a day that just had Ryan Silverfield on, and man, he just kind of wowed us, no doubt about that.
Chip Long out at Notre Dame as OC.
That's stunning.
And he made Ian Book into, I thought, a terrific ball player this year.
Well,
Notre Dame won 10 games, and they're going to the
what
bowl?
The
what
Camping
bowl?
World Bowl, isn't it? Something like that.
You know times have changed if that's the case. They win 10 games, and they fall to the second Orlando Bowl. They're good.
Chip Long, by the way, is one of those that are on the list for Laird Veach to interview, I would think, or at least talk to by phone, whatever it may be. But I know he's been on the list, and I did see that he did, without question, have interest in this job. This was before he was let go.
Notre Dame's won 22 games the last 2 years.
From the sporting news, our friend, I think the best national college basketball writer in America, Mike DeCourcy, joins us now. And you wrote a story this past couple of days pertaining to the University of Memphis. The headline is, "The cost for fighting over James Wiseman eligibility may be exorbitant." We know he's out till the 12th of January against USF. So, Mike, when you did your research for all this, what's your general take on it all?
Well, I think that the concern is that that they've already been punished more severely, according to what we've been able to gather. That they've been punished more severely in terms of James's return than they would have been if they had simply gone through the reinstatement process, the protocol that's been in place for years, which is you get the information that suggests your player may be ineligible. You declare him ineligible. You then petition for reinstatement, and then the conditions for reinstatement are established by the NCAA and sometimes amended on appeal and sometimes not. And the ordinary, the structure for what is alleged to have happened here is 9 games, and James got 12, and the belief is that it was because of the 3 games he played while the injunction was sought. And so that concern is there. And then does the NCAA then turn this into a case? I don't know whether they will or not, but there is concern about that. Mm-hmm. And, I hope for the Tigers' sake that doesn't happen. But I'd worry about that if I were a Tigers fan. I think that would be a concern that would be out there until I was, I had reason to be certain that it wasn't.
They don't play nice.
Isn't this also, in my mind, and I'm asking you, a statement to be made that if we hand down a judgment on you and you threaten to take us to court, then we're going to fire back.
Well, I mean, first of all, remember, the NCAA hadn't handed any judgment down in that case. They had said that they had reason to, I think in so many words, these aren't the exact words, but in so many words, they had reason to believe that James was ineligible, and that the facts of the case made him ineligible. And this is something that apparently they presented to Memphis either right before the start of the season or after the season had begun. I mean, only the people inside there and at the NCAA, know for certain, when those documents came over the transom, so to speak. But they basically said, this information suggests to us that he's ineligible, and then it's up to you as a university to follow the protocol. And it's pretty rare to not. It's almost, it's not unprecedented, I would imagine, but it's pretty close to being unprecedented. Let's say there is very little precedent for not. And Memphis, in that case, did not immediately follow the protocol. And I know that there were some mitigating circumstances that contributed to that, but it still is a risk. And I don't know what the reward was for the risk that was taken. Memphis did not have to play James no one can make you put a guy in a game. I mean, so they could say that he had an injunction to play, but that the Tigers still did not have to put him in the game. I mean, and they have the power over who plays in a game. Even if he's your best player, that you don't have to play him. I mean, that happens sometimes for reasons well apart from what happened here. I mean, your best player's late for a meeting. He doesn't play. I mean, no one can go to get a court injunction and say you got to play him. So they can't. There wasn't. They weren't forced by that injunction to go ahead and play him. That was a decision that was made by the school, and you could see in the statements that came from the athletic department and the university that they were supportive of James taking the court against UIC and so forth. And it at least in small measure, it's come back to punish them. And like I said, I'm very hopeful that it doesn't become more than that.
Me too. And you do worry about that because I have no idea what other information they might have or what we have still yet to learn if we really examine this. He was cleared in May, and then they apparently got that the day of the very first game in October, right?
November 5th.
Or November, whatever it was, November 2nd, whatever that date
November
was. 5th. What changed? Because they cleared him even with
new information,
the disclosure by Penny that he had given the mother $11,500. So there has to be something there, and that's the thing that sort of gnaws at me.
Well, the disclosure, the one thing we don't know when that disclosure occurred, definitively we don't know. I believe that there was a statement made by, and I'm saying that I believe this based on my recollection. Mm-hmm. There was a statement made on James's behalf that the NCAA had all the pertinent information when his initial ruling was clear. And so one presumes that would include the Penny information.
Penny has told me personally on the air that he disclosed at that May meeting that he had made that payment to the mother.
Yeah, see, that goes back to what bothers me about the way this all was handled, because, and I was not aware of that. But my initial instinct was that, and the first column I wrote was that that this did smell like the Rose case, which, by the way, stunk from here to to the bridge and back. The Rose case was a disgrace. And I've said it and written it on many occasions that the way the Rose case was handled was an absolute sham. And so this one, again, if you have that information and you say, okay, we get it, he can go, and then you change your mind, I don't buy that. You don't get a do-over. I mean, just because you're the NCAA or you're in power, you don't get to change your mind. You say yes, that means yes. Unless you get new information, and then you can say no. But every indication is that this is the one hang-up, that this 11-5 was the one hang-up. And if you had said in May, I don't think so.
Right.
We don't think he can go for you guys. You're going to have to declare him ineligible and reinstate him, or he can go to wherever else, or he can choose, not to play in college. And James should have had that option to either play for the Tigers for 23 games, or play for somebody else, or go pro and play in Australia or the G League or wherever. But he should have had that. The way they did this, the information is there for them in May, and they say, cool. And then they come back right on the eve of the season and they say, that's problematic to me. That's just not the way things should be done.
It seems very vindictive, but that's kind of them, Mike.
I don't think they're really vindictive, I'll be honest with you, Brett. I do think that at this point, in certain elements of their judicial process, they are being more aggressive than they had been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
The inability to find a way to prosecute North Carolina embarrassed them and continues to embarrass them because people won't let it go. And the FBI revelations of September 2017 embarrassed them. And so they are talking big. They're swinging a pretty big stick at certain people. And so they are being more aggressive. And I don't know. I don't know what led them to change the ruling on James between May and November. But I do see them being more aggressive in a lot of circumstances. And you could see it in the notice of allegations that Kansas got, for instance. Realistically, based on what they have against Kansas, that they can reasonably prove, their case should have been about half as harsh as it was presented in that document, because they can only demonstrably prove about half of what they've alleged, at least based on what we know, and yet they went full bore. And so I do think that they're being much more aggressive now, and I don't know whether maybe that has something to do with this or not. But I don't think that the people at the NCAA HQ are vindictive. I think they're inconsistent because of the way they operate. It's not baked into their process. It's not codified that precedent matters. And if there's ever been an organization, a body, whatever, that needs precedent to matter, it's them. Because here's what it comes down to: if let's say I commit an NCAA violation as the coach at State U, okay, and let's say just to give, I give $10,000 to a star quarterback to come play, all right, and that gets me, I don't know, let's say it gets me suspended for a year, just for just I don't think they do that very much, but let's just say it does. Okay, so then let's say Stats gives, as the coach at State Tech gives the next star quarterback $10,000 to get him, and then they say to him, you get a half a year. Well, why the change?
Yeah.
Well, it's simple, because it's all new people. The infractions committee in 1 year is, it's like maybe 3, 4, 5 people stay, and then 5 or 5 new people may come on, and they have different opinions, a different interpretation, or maybe they like the guy better, whatever. And so it changes. And the organization really needs to say, okay, this is basically what you get for this, and this is basically what you get for that. But Derrick Rose is a perfect example of they invent this. I had never heard of it in 20 years,
strict
28
liability.
years, I think, of covering college athletics. I'd never heard of it.
Me neither.
Not one time. And I can tell you that there are cases that prior to Derrick, in which there was a high profile athlete on a high profile university team, and I'm not going to name them because but people out there who know who got paid and it was proved in court. There were documents that said he got paid, and he played in the national championship game in a particular year prior to Derrick playing, and nothing ever happened and it wasn't the school's fault because they didn't know, and they didn't have any involvement in it. But the guy had been essentially professionalized. He was ineligible. And he played in that game, and nothing ever happened. There was no withdrawal of their banner or money or anything. So strict liability did not exist that year, and then in 2008 it did. So that's what I'm talking about, where the lack of precedent is disastrous for the infractions committee. And it's why so many people don't understand what's going on with them.
The lack of precedent and, frankly, the lack of communication. If they've got something on Memphis and they had said, yeah, we did clear James in May, but we found out new information. Here's what it is. They don't do that. And they leave themselves open to get ripped because they have no sense of what public relations is like, because the average fan is going to go, wait a second. The most egregious of all the violations would be academic fraud, and North Carolina got away with everything. Then they're going to say, Sean Miller and Will Wade, they're still coaching, and they're on FBI wiretaps. And James Wiseman is a player who didn't even know his mother got $11,500 when he was in high school to play for high school, and he can't play a third or more of the season that he's only going to play one in college basketball. And you look at those things and you go, what? How can this – these are the schools, by the way. How can this be possible?
Well, I can answer those questions. It's a long answer. I mean – in the case of Will, he's on the wiretap saying strong bleep offer. I mean, he's on there saying that. But whether it's by design or whatever, or whether it's by accident, he never says what a strong bleep offer is. And if someone comes to him and says, "Well, what do you mean by strong bleep offer?" Well,
3 square meals a day and
LSU.
Yeah.
3 square meals a day and cost of attendance, that's a pretty strong offer, don't you think?
Right.
I mean, that's all he has to say. They don't have him. And so it's hard to, and it's hard to say that they have him. And the Miller story, I'm not, that story has never been, it's never been secure for me. Because if you look at some of the things that 24/7 Sports did subsequent to its appearance, they called a lot of it into question about what happened there. And when they went to court, with Book Richardson, nothing like that ever surfaced. A wiretap of Sean Miller talking with that particular runner about DeAndre Ayton, that never surfaced. So I'm not sure whether that's out there or not. So there are reasons why some of this is still. Some of these guys are still coaching. I'm not sure that everybody that's been named or programs that have been named are out of the woods. I mean, I think that you already have, like I said, Kansas has an NOA at this point. Mm-hmm. Carolina State has an NOA. I think there will be others that come up over time, because just about everybody that got really mentioned hard in those, in those cases, is going to probably go through the process. It's no guarantee that they all will, but I think most of them will. I know NCAA, when they get something like this, they usually like to make sure that they get all the way to the last page of the book.
Mike, we've already had kind of musical chairs at number 1. We've had 5 remaining undefeated teams. That won't last long. This could be the toughest year ever to be on that selection committee.
It could. I think by the end of the season, we'll have some clarity about the best teams. Whether or not they're muddled together more than they usually. You might have I think last year Duke went into the NCAA tournament at 33-2 or something like that. I mean, I don't think we're going to have any 33-2s this year. Mm-hmm. But it's usually a reasonable distinction between the top teams and the next teams. But what I think you might find once the tournament starts is that those top seeds are much more within reach of the middle class and the lower class teams that are in the field. I should say the middle seeds and the lower seeds, because that description didn't sound very kind for the best 68 teams in the country. So let's just say the middle seeds and the lower seeds might have more of a shot at those upper seeds than they have in most years. I could say this is something that I've sort of hit on. I mean, if you've got, I may even have said to you guys last week, if you've got a pro and you can build yourself a functional offense and defense, a high-functioning offense and defense, you've got a shot. I mean, you've got so many teams that can win the national championship this year, and there have been years when that field was as small as 2 to 4 teams. It's not now.
Last thing, Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News, as he is always with us at this time slot on Wednesdays. And that is, we got a heck of a basketball game coming up Saturday at Thompson Bowling, where the Vols have won 31 games in a row. It's the 13th-ranked Tigers against the 19th-ranked Vols, although I think in the coaches' polls they're both 17. So that's interesting. How do you think that game is going to turn out?
Well, it would have been more fun, so to speak, if they were both going at it full strength. It's a shame that at this point that's not the case. The Tigers have done exceedingly well in James's absence. Have to give him a lot of credit, including the comeback at UAB, which I knew was going to be a difficult one for them going in, and it was difficult, really difficult early, and for them to come back as strong as they did is a great statement for the character of this team. To be playing without your obvious best player and to be able to come back from 14 down at half there is huge for me. This Tennessee team is I like it. I like what they have. I thought that coming back off of last year, if their point guard Bone had come back, I thought they had a chance to be really special. But even without him, it's a roster that has really quality players. Jordan Bowden is an excellent player. I love Lamonte Turner. In some ways, some of the NBA scouts disagreed with me, but in watching Lamonte last year down in Louisville during the Sweet 16, I thought in a lot of ways that he actually had more spark in his game than Bone did. I really think that. I think he's got maybe it's only a quarter step or whatever, but I think he's got a little bit more zip to him than Bone did, and so I think they can move a little faster than last year. And they play. They don't score as many points, but I think they can move faster. I think they can be harder to stay in front of. And Turner is averaging 7.5 assists a game. He's doing a really nice job of moving the ball around. They use a lot of players. Their front court is, again, this is where if they had James, they would have a huge advantage, the Tigers, because I think that Pons is a fine player and Fulkerson's a fine player, but I don't think those guys are elite players. Pons is doing a really nice job after not getting a lot of run last year because of the great players in front of him. But he's doing a really solid job, but they aren't great players. They know how to play though, and that's where your young front court has to be ready to go and has to be ready in that environment to deal with guys who, Fulkerson and Pons really understand their offense and how they want to play. And so Precious and guys like that, they're going to have to be really, mobile and instinctive and on top of their assignments because Tennessee is going to run really good offense. And especially at home where they're going to be extra confident.
No doubt. Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News, as always, we appreciate it very, very, very much.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
You got it.
Mike DeCourcy, brought to you every week by the Memphis Sports Council and the Memphis Convention and Visitors Bureau. Kevin Kane, J.J. Greer, Malvin Gibson. Oh, my goodness, what the work they do.
What a great team.
They were heavily involved, by the way, in making sure that the St. Jude Marathon this past Saturday with 26,000 runners all went off without a hitch. That is an amazing thing, and our congratulations to the Shadyiaks who also helped put this together. I know that coming into this year, the St. Jude Marathon had raised $30 million. I thought I saw a figure like that one race on Saturday brought in $8 million. $8 million. That is something, and without the Memphis Sports Council, that stuff does not happen. We do appreciate all the work that group really and truly does, and they're always looking for the next big event. I can promise you that. And every week, that Sports Council brings you Mike DeCourcy. We take the time out. We are back in just a minute, we'll talk business of sports with our professor, Rick Horrow from Harvard and the NBC family of stations. He's next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know: Benswinger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 125 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Benswinger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Benswinger Glass in Midtown, located at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit their website, benswingerglass.com. Benswinger Glass.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. For more than 26 years, they've supplied all the diesel parts that you need. From simple repairs to complete overhauls, they have it all. Whether it's heavy, medium, light duty, agricultural, marine, or off-road, Mid-South Power is the leading source for all things diesel. Fuel injection, turbochargers, engine parts, alternators, starters, and brakes, they can supply all the parts and services you need. Stop in today at 3250 Mill Branch Road in Memphis or call 901-396-0710.
Summers span decades, winters can last a lifetime, and the struggle for the Iron Throne continues in Game of Thrones: The Final Season. Get it now on 4K Ultra HD, Blu-ray, and DVD. The complete series also available on Blu-ray and DVD, now for purchase, but you could win it right here on Sports 56 with help from your friend Johnny Radio. Johnny's giving away 4 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and 4 digital copies. Who loves you this holiday season like Johnny? Nobody.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Strapped against my back.
Welcome back in. Title sponsor this hour's Homer Skelton Hyundai and Olive Branch, and of course Genesis of Olive Branch as well. And I've got a G90 now. I'm a proud Genesis owner. I mean, it really thrills me every day I get in that car and I start that engine up and I take a woo, it just goes, and it handles so beautifully. I hadn't had a sedan in a while. I'd forgotten how smooth a ride is, but I'm not sure every sedan is as smooth as my Genesis car. This is new technology. This is luxury. I think it's the best luxury car that is now made anywhere. It is outstanding. I wish you would go see my friend Chris True, the general manager of Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. Just go see him and say, I'd like to try it. I want to see what luxury is really like. He'll be happy to let you. And then you will be hooked. There's the G70. That's a little smaller. Soon there's going to be an SUV. There's a big emphasis on more and more Genesis coming to this country. So when you take a look at that product and the Hyundai product, you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on all those cars. You're just going to go, wow, amazing. And then when you hear about the shopper assurance that you get from Chris True, now you realize it's the perfect marriage between technology and sales and service. They take care of you. Go see for yourself. You'll love it. It's the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Olive Branch and Genesis of Olive Branch. Rick Horrow joins us now. We are actually looking live at the President's Cup in Melbourne. I bet he does too. Justin Thomas put himself, or Tiger put himself with Justin Thomas. That is interesting. Rick Horrow, Is there money to be made in these Ryder Cups? I know the players don't get much, but what kind of cash
PGA of America makes money.
is being divvied around here for the Ryder Cup and for this President's Cup?
Tourist dollars, pride. Pro players don't hear about pride.
Mm-hmm.
Who wins the award of best golfer of the week on my street? How's that? Tiger lives across the street. Justin Thomas a few houses down. Ricky Fowler a few houses down. So we could have a little President's Cup here or there.
Who are you taking? Who are you taking in the neighborhood pool?
Wait, it could be Rick Horrow. Maybe he's the best.
No. The neighborhood pool is Justin Thomas because he is within shouting distance. So the other ones I don't see very much. So that's a big deal. Yeah, and I'm not there today. I'm in Oklahoma City, which is I guess closer to you. So
down I-40.
Up down I-40. But I'm going to head north. I'm going to Kansas City this weekend to watch the Jayhawks and the Chiefs. That's why am I doing that? Because I'm an idiot. It's the middle of December. That's why. So that's okay.
I hope you're in a press box.
Oh my God! I don't roll any other way. Of course I'll be.
The stadium in Kansas City. I've never been there, but I was told it was such forethought that Lamar Hunt was just a visionary, a future seer in how he designed it. That it still is state of the art. Now they've spent a lot of money on some redos, but when it opened, it was the palace of palaces. Is that accurate, Rick?
It's very accurate and very perceptive. And one of the keys is that, like the Bill Walsh coaching tree, there is an architect's tree out of Kansas City. There are like 15 firms that have done most of the stadiums in the world.
Is that HOK?
They all started with people at the company called HOK, which is now Populous. Kind of interesting. But Arrowhead was done in 1972. And a renovation was done, 25 years later, and it's still as good as new. It is a marvel, and of course the Chiefs fans travel farther than any other team in the league, so it's a great story. But it's cold there.
Yeah, and when first proposed, they were going to have retractable roof that would go over Royal Stadium and Arrowhead, but they had to cut some budget dollars out of that, or Kansas City probably would have hosted a Super Bowl by now.
Wow, you stole my thunder. The referendum was a 5-county vote, 3 in Missouri, 2 in Kansas, and they were going to put a large roof on tracks and roll it over the 2 stadiums, the Chiefs and the Royals. It was brilliant. They had referendums to renovate the stadium. They had referendums to renovate the downtown areas, and the roof failed by a very small amount. And so they would have had at least one Super Bowl, maybe more, had it passed.
HOK, I do remember when they were in their heyday. Who's the company now that's doing, who did Jerry's World? Who's doing the one in Las Vegas?
Who did Chase Center in San Francisco?
Yeah, wow, that place looks great.
So there's a mixture of them. HOK became a company called Populous, and they're now worldwide. They do 75% of all the minor league stadiums. They do a lot of the stadiums now. It's a company called HKS, which was founded by, the sports side of it was founded by a guy named Brian Truby, who used to work at HOK. Everybody used to work at HOK. They did Indy, Minnesota, Dallas, and are doing LA. So, they got some of the big ones. Those two have, I'm going to get shot because I'm making a little bit of this up, but I think those two have 60 to 70% of the market share of all of the stadiums and arenas. They act like it, Populous number 1 and HKS number 2, domestically and international. But boy, they fight. I don't have any brothers and sisters, but if I had them, they'd be named Populous and HKS.
They get after it. I saw this from Nielsen: almost 122 million Americans watched NFL or college football over Thanksgiving weekend. That's a through the roof number. Super Bowl ads sold out pre-Thanksgiving. NFL viewership up on Fox, CBS, ESPN, NBC, across the board. I mean, if there was a dip a few years ago, there's not one now. The NFL, it's back, and it's the biggest.
Well, I don't know if it ever left. And, the thing about it, interestingly now, is we are just getting to the point where we're beginning to figure out how to measure apples and apples, meaning for the first time we're all acknowledging that we have more human beings watching games, sports content on devices iPads, iPhones, etc., than on real TVs. So that is a wake-up call for everybody, advertisers and otherwise. And now we're measuring it. We're finding that nobody ever left. Maybe a few people did. They're the noisy ones. And the people that are watching the devices are the young people who have more of a stake in the future of the game. So we're doing okay.
So true. The noisy ones, I mean, they do get the attention, but the good old test over time. Also this year, in the top 50 most watched shows of the current TV season, 46 have been NFL games. The other 4 games, 6 and 7 of the World Series. That's 2. Alabama and LSU. That's the 3rd one. The 4th one, Thanksgiving Day Parade.
To hell with the parade. Why would anybody watch that if they could watch a rerun of Memphis, Cincinnati? How about those games?
There you go.
So how's that? That's not good.
I'm with you. If only they had known.
But sports is still rules.
If only they had known. So I may pop by the Liberty Bowl this year and see Earhart. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out my New Year's week schedule, and I knew the game is New Year's Eve.
It's the 31st at 2:30 in the afternoon. You should come and watch Navy.
Yeah, that's a good game, by the way. That'll be kind of fun, and I'm assuming there's some excitement. I actually want to go see the game in El Paso, but that's so far from everybody. And it's not the game. Do you know what the game is called this year?
I do. The Tony the Tiger Bowl.
It's not.
There you go.
It's not the Sun Bowl anymore.
No,
no, it's both. It's called.
It's Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
So it's the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. How about that?
I love it. And they're getting a lot of play from it.
Well, and that's perfect because Kellogg's got the middle of it, and they said, all right, if we're going to spend money, we're going to do something that's going to get people's attention. So let's name it after Tony the Tiger.
I've always wanted to go to El Paso to that game.
I've been in that stadium many a time. El Paso is a nice place to visit once. Food's good. If you like Mexican food, you'll be in heaven. The stadium is very cool, honestly. I think once you've done it, you've done it.
I want to do it once. The first Sun Bowl I ever remember, Mississippi State played in it against North Carolina, and at the Sun Bowl, it snowed about 6 inches that day.
I remember a game 3 years ago where it was 3-0, and they barely thought they could kick a field goal because the wind was like 45 miles an hour.
I remember that.
It's tough in El Paso. I did some consulting there with the baseball stadium. They had a referendum pass, one of my last gigs in recent memory. And the guy who was the head of the civic group that persuaded me to go out there said, hey, look, it's not that far. Depends on how big your map is. It's only like an inch away from Dallas on the map. It's a real big map. A real small one. And the bottom line is it is hard to get there and hard to get back.
It's actually closer to Los Angeles than it is to Dallas.
That's
the truth.
That's correct. And you can go to a big metropolitan area like Las Cruces or, so one of those places, New Mexico State and UTEP, not exactly the hotbed of football.
Down your way, how excited are people for the Orange Bowl between Virginia and Florida?
Yeah. The fun thing is that in this day and age of high-powered bowl playoff games and the Big Six, the New Year's stuff is really good, but the traditional big bowls are one step away from being crowded out. And this game is going to be good because Florida hadn't been in it in a while. It's going to sell a lot of tickets. Virginia looked good for most of the season if you wipe that Clemson game off. And so it'll be a very interesting and a lot of fun stuff. And the festivities around the Orange Bowl are second to none. They're a big deal.
We're looking forward to the Cotton Bowl. Hadn't seen Jerry's World yet, so we'll get a good look at that particular stadium. And it's a big game for Memphis. You mentioned that Cincinnati game. It set this game up, and there are a lot of people who've been to bowl games, and Rick, I know you've been to many, but they say in terms of the way it is set up that this is the best bowl to cover.
Well, it's a good bowl to cover, but if you're there, get a map because you're the kind of person who'd be lost and they wouldn't find you for like 6 weeks. There are like 14 different decks and areas on each side with separate admission. You can find your way to the press box, and you'll get up on the 4th floor, and you'll never be found. So, and I'm saying it in jest because it's a wonderful facility, and it is, I think, maybe, it's all subjective, but I think it's the nicest, best stadium we've got in North America. Minnesota, Indianapolis, close. I can't wait to see what LA is like, or Vegas, but for now it's the best.
We visit with Rick Caro every week in this time slot. We talk business and sports, and, of course, Rick's from the family of NBC stations, but he's also a professor at Harvard, and this is an ethical question for you, and I want you to clear this up for me because it really bugs me, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but today the Russian boxing team came out hot and heavy that they may not participate in the Olympic Games if they are not allowed to participate with their Russian team uniforms under the Russian flag. WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, has caught them red-handed again, and in my mind, gave them a break. I don't think they should be allowed to compete at all, but they're allowing them to compete as neutral athletes. Do you think that was a good call? Do you think the Russian team has any gripe whatsoever?
I think it's political leverage. I think they're trying to flex their muscle and save face. And if you act indignant long enough, maybe people think that you didn't do it. So, yeah, they caught a break. And part of the break means that they still got to pass tests on an individual basis. So, this is not an excuse to continue what they're doing. It's an excuse to not be punished for what their country did do. And like anything else, there are a lot of the athletes that were completely clean and didn't deserve it. But you always feel sorry for them. But my advice on this one is just, shut up, wear, white T-shirts and go box.
NBC's already hit $1 billion in ad sales for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. $1 billion. Do they make money, Rick?
Yeah, but it's tight, which is amazing because the margins are they make money. Because they have so many Olympics, they sell package deals. But to cover Olympics is a spectacularly expensive venture, especially the 2022 ones in Beijing, because you're going to have snow that's manufactured at places where the Chinese government has no idea they've ever built facilities before. And what that means, of course, is new expensive equipment for television to go along with it. So it is a moneymaker for NBC, but it's very close, and it is in the millions, but it's not in the billions.
Is there any chance that Tokyo makes money on this thing?
Yeah, Tokyo was overburdened, but not as much as like Sochi was, and not as much as some other places. LA continues to streamline and do well. Their 2028s are going to be really good budget-wise. So is Paris 4 years earlier. Tokyo's got a few new sports, and that's expensive, but they'll do fine.
He is Rick Caro. We chat with him every week. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Rick. Enjoy your weekend.
You ought to think about Dallas on the 28th, followed by Memphis for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Navy and Kansas State on the 31st.
Well, you'll be the first people I call, and in the meantime, we'll talk next week.
You got it.
Thank you, Rick.
All right, man.
Bye-bye. Non-committal for sure on that one. You didn't get that sense, huh?
Hard to ask a question. You've sold $1 billion in ads, but do you make money? It's narrow.
It's narrow. You're only going to make $1 million or $2 million. Millions.
Those rights fees are big, and then literally to move their headquarters for a month around the world.
True.
Because every show will originate from there. Today's show, who's their 10:30 comedian? I don't know. Jimmy
Kimmel.
NBC.
Jimmy Fallon. I'm sorry, Fallon. Fallon.
They'll all be
my
there.
favorite is Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, but that's the NBC guy. He's the.
I'm more of a Fallon man myself.
There you go. Generational.
I'll let y'all duke it out.
Generational thing. Yeah, you're sleeping by then. In your advanced age.
I hadn't watched since Johnny Carson.
You have not watched since. You never watched Jay Leno or David Letterman?
Never saw Letterman on CBS.
Seriously.
Not a minute.
Are you sleeping at that point?
Or doing other things.
I'm not going to ask.
Watching SportsCenter.
I'm not going to ask.
That's what I'm doing.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the Eflin Insurance Group. Now, their main headquarters are in Barlow, but they got offices elsewhere around the city. And for 20 years, Matt Eflin has built an insurance empire. I'm serious. He started working 20 years ago, and he's all in this local market. And he's special. He has personal and business insurance, specializes in all types of insurance, really. He finds products for what will make you feel secure. And he does this with a one-on-one approach to evaluate each individual's insurance needs. And as I mentioned, business and personal. So if it's personal, he'll sit down. How many of you got in your family? What's really important to you? What should we take care of? Finds the product. And it could be life, it could be health, whatever it is. And you'll feel really good and protected when you're done talking with Matt. If it's business, he's going to ask you for a forecast and where are you going to be in 5 years, then where will you be in 10 years, and what's the thing you really got to protect the most. And then he finds the product, and there you are. You are secure. If you like that feeling, call 757-2315. If you would like to get that sort of personalized service, he'll give you quotes, 757-2315. That's the Eflin Insurance Group. We take a time out. When we come back, we'll sort of wrap up this hour, give you the latest of breaking news. Seems like every time we turn around, something is big that is
golf
going
ball's
on,
in the air in
including
Melbourne.
the President's Cup, where Tiger hit a shot on number one that we could be bragging
Captain
about.
Woods.
Captain Woods, that's right. Back in a minute. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Looking for a new job? Contact Pro Resume. Sending out hundreds of resumes. No response? Contact Pro Resume. Tired of working for peanuts? Contact Pro Resume. Pro Resume's the resume expert in the Mid-South. Go to proresume.biz or call 685-1950. The fastest way to a new job.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. If you need a roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and we will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. We have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for many years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies' new look, the Redbirds, the 901 FC, and the Tigers football and basketball teams, it's going to be a fun year. Thank you to Coach Norvell, Coach Hardaway, and their staffs for your dedication to your student athletes, the University of Memphis, and to fans like me who have waited forever to have both the football and basketball teams ranked at the same time. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Whether you're a casual golfer or an avid golfer, let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you fill your wish list with the season's best deals in golf, featuring special holiday offers from Bushnell. Save $70 on the Bushnell Hybrid, now only $329.99, and save $30 on the Bushnell Phantom GPS, now only $99.99. And while you're there, register to win free golf balls for a year. The Edwin Watts Golf Shops holiday sale is at our new location in the Ridgeway Trace Shopping Center. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Tell me if I'm wrong here, but it's summer in Australia, right? It's December here, winter. It's supposed to be summer in Australia.
I don't know their seasons.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. It's 9 almost 10 o'clock in the morning in Australia.
It's
Melbourne.
Thursday there, right?
No.
It's tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah. It's Thursday. That's correct. Yeah, it's the next morning. Right, Thursday morning.
They've already started the Toys for Tots campaign there.
Yeah.
Wait on us. Hang on.
Did we see if they birdied the first hole?
I did not.
I mean, Tiger hit his second shot. I mean, it was a foot and a half from the hole. I thought for a minute it was going in.
He's 100% well. Isn't that another miracle?
They are, Tiger Woods and Justin Thomas are up one.
Good.
Yeah, so they won that first hole.
And the United States always dominates this. What lost?
I know.
Once.
I don't think they've ever lost a President's Cup.
Yeah, they've lost at least once.
Look to see that. I don't think they've ever
and
lost a
pushes.
President's Cup.
Well, y'all keep talking while I look
Yeah,
it up.
I am. We're unfortunately we're we're sitting and thinking we're on television or watching the President's Cup golf. Stories today that are of interest for sure. We mentioned Ryan Boyce a little bit earlier, and Ryan has entered the transfer portal. And again, I'm happy for the young man because I think he's a talented guy, and I want to see him play. I want him to have a college career.
Go play ball. That's what they want to do.
And then the other news, in case you did not hear it, we had Ryan Silverfield with us at 3:30 today. That is up on the website. So if you did not get a chance to listen, it is a featured audio, and it was really absolutely terrific today. What was the most? What did you really get out of that?
How much he wants it, but how much he is towing the line as he is good company man, not trying to lobby, not trying to campaign, but also not being indifferent about it. He wants it, but not being. And I think he struck the right chord.
I hope the university and Lerdvich will, I think they should talk to everybody. Like Jeff Long is out there now for sure because he's out of a job today. That's the other sort of breaking news. Notre Dame has let go their offensive coordinator, who, of course, came from Memphis. He was the OC with Mike his very first year and went to Notre Dame, and he got let go today. And he was mentioned as a possible candidate for the University of Memphis. So now he's in need of a job, and, that may be out there. Or, you know what? He could come as the OC.
Do you see the text line? I wonder what I would win for this. Well, texter just give me no credit. A little trivia for Sports 56. What team played in the last game in the old Cotton Bowl Stadium, in the first game in the new Cotton Bowl Stadium, and won both games? Come on, man. I was there with Ole Miss for both of them.
Wow.
Beat Texas Tech and Oklahoma State.
I did not realize that was the last one and the old one.
Shut
and the
down
first one and
Fair
the new
Park,
one.
opened up Jerry's World.
And the one that used to be, they still had a bowl game going in the old
They did.
park, and it's at Gerald Ford Stadium this year on the SMU campus.
And, they have one on campus at TCU, the Armed Forces Bowl. I saw a great game between Cal and Air Force on New Year's Eve morning at TCU, but that's the Armed Forces Bowl. What is the name of the one that is at Gerald Ford Stadium on SMU's campus?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Because the one that's tied in with the University of Memphis, there's so many
Texas should ask us that.
In Dallas, there are so many games. The one that the Tigers are connected with,
The
is
Serve
in
Pro
Frisco.
First Responders Bowl, by golly.
No, that's the one that's now on
Western Kentucky
SMU's
and
campus.
Western Michigan.
Mm.
On the western edge of SMU's campus. I don't even know that.
It's a nice little stadium.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
SMU's campus is gorgeous.
There's press box is terrific, by the way.
Have you been to the George W. Bush Library on campus there yet?
You know what? I am ashamed to tell you
It's
that I
very
have
nice.
not. I hear it's very nice, and I've passed it by literally 20 times.
You can find my Willie Mays card in the baseball section. I told you that story.
Yes. Have you
So
told?
what's the President's Cup story?
President's Cup, the U.S. lost in 98, tied in 03, but has won every one set.
7 straight, so lost once ever, as I
Yes,
said, right?
lost once and tied once.
What'd I win for that?
Nothing.
I need to win something.
My humiliation is what you get, because I could have
Not
sworn they had never
not
lost
humiliation.
in the President's Cup.
Only lost once.
Who won? Who's the captain of the 98 team? That might have been Nick Price, who was the captain of that team.
One time in this, it was a very sportsmanship between Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player for a draw.
Right.
Maybe the United States could have been putting, and Nicklaus said no. And
I
he
thought
did
that was
once
that was in a Ryder Cup.
He did that once in a Ryder Cup with
Yeah.
Tony Jacklin. Then he
Yeah,
reprised
Tony Jacklin,
it.
right.
He reprised it with Gary Player in a President's Cup in South Africa.
There are so many people that thought that was so wrong of Jack to do, and Jack was so adamant about it being right, he repeated it.
Mm-hmm. Will. Hard-headed, believing in himself.
Well,
Jack Nicklaus is that.
He believes that was the right thing.
Yeah.
And end of story. He believes that was the right thing.
Captain in 98 was Jack Nicklaus and Peter Thompson.
Well, Peter Thompson. Huh. I think Nick Price had to be on that team.
You know, for a long time, when it started, the President's Cup to be opposite the year of the Ryder Cup, we hosted every year, and then they finally started going to their sites to play on their courses. Melbourne, a long way away.
Oh, yeah. Well, the cool thing is we'll get to watch this time.
You've never been to Australia, have you?
No, I'm not.
That's one of the few places.
I know.
That in Antarctica, your only continent left?
Because it's winter.
Maybe you
in
take
the
off
summer.
your head off now.
It's winter in the summer. I don't know if that's the best time.
If you knocked out Australia, would you try to knock out Antarctica just to knock out every continent?
Maybe.
And you don't mind cold.
I don't mind cold, no. I don't know if my wife would be on board for that.
And, boy, you just don't dip down there and dip
we
back,
actually
do you?
used to have a friend
That
whose
lived in
son
Antarctica?
was on this for a long time, worked for this company that was in Antarctica. They went and visited. That would have been cool. 'Cause
I
we
hear the
would have known
summers are
somebody.
great. No.
Yeah.
It's only 10 degrees.
No, but I will say this. If you go to Australia, you got to go to New Zealand. And New Zealand is just spectacularly beautiful.
It's way down there.
It's a ways away. It's like a 20.
Right by the international
I think
date
it's a
line.
22-hour flight to.
No, thank you.
To Sydney, from maybe New York. That is a long way.
About 3 hours, 4 hours in the cans. About all I'm going to do.
Were there any odds on this President's Cup? By the way,
I didn't see any.
We take the time out. We've got
20 hours and 44 minutes. Plus, you have one stop if you're going to fly from Memphis International to Sydney.
No way. Not a prayer.
With one stop.
With one stop.
Right. So it comes out to about 23 hours or whatever it is. Looks like Tiger's got a little problem here on his second hole. We're going to take the time out. When we come back, we will talk to our friend about some of this. That would be TJ Reeves. We head to Tampa in a minute. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. When was the last time you had your heating system tuned up? Did you know your heating system can lose up to 5% efficiency every year it skips a tune-up? Why compromise your family's comfort? Good news, it's heating system tune-up time at Conway Services. Schedule your heating system tune-up today for just $57. Not only will you save big, but we'll also include a Google Home Mini absolutely free while supplies last. That's right, get Conway Services 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-up on your heating system for only $57 and get a Google Home Mini absolutely free. The experts at Conway Services will make sure your heating system is ready for those cold winter nights, all for only $57, and we'll include a Google Home Mini absolutely free. Why trust your comfort to anyone else? Stay warm and stay connected. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. That's 384-3511.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Memphis, it's official. Crab King Seafood is where it's at. For the most flavored seafood and biggest plates, run to a Crab King's near you. Visit our Bartlett Cordova location at 7140 Stage Road or our East Memphis location at 5992 Knight Arnold Road. Starting this week, get 3 juicy snow crabs, 17 shrimps, 2 whole sausages, 2 corn, 2 eggs, and a large side of potatoes for only $43.99. That's right, $43.99. The price, the portions, the service is why Crab Kings is #1. Make the right choice the first time. Make it Crab Kings. Come and devour our tasty snow crabs, king crabs, shrimp, salmon, and catfish. Enjoy Memphis' best tasting pastas with your choice of toppings. Visit our Bartlett Cordova locations at 7140 Stage Road or our East Memphis location at 5992 Knight Arnold Road. Crab Kings is open Tuesday through Sunday. For more information, Google Crab Kings Memphis or download the app. Crab Kings, a Memphis original.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales. You know, it's better to give than receive, right? When you donate a gift at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch, you can receive a free lunch this Friday beginning at 11 a.m. Just bring a toy to All-Star Chevy for the kids at Winchester Elementary this Friday beginning at 11 a.m. There are also free prizes, and Greg and Eli from Sports 56 will be broadcasting live from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. While you're there, check out the new Silverado Traverses and the all-new Chevy Blazer. And if you buy one, you could save thousands paying what the employees pay. So come on out this Friday for free lunch and prizes, and bring a toy to donate to Winchester Elementary from All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and Sports 56.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Come on, Muhammad, that we hit fame. We beat with the deal, we get insane.
One of my all-time favorite guys coming up in a minute, TJ Reeves.
He is. After I tell you about DeSoto Auto Sales down on Goodman Road, 5704 Goodman Road. Check them out online at DeSotoAutosales.com. All the cars are test-driven, all checked out head to toe, all checked out bumper to bumper. Unlimited inventory, every make, every model. If it's not on the lot at DeSoto Auto Sales, they'll go out and find it for you. No shortcuts taken. You walk into DeSoto Auto Sales, you're treated like family by a kind, courteous staff. The employees there treat you like you're at home. Down-home, laid-back environment, no high-pressure sales. They do care about your time and want you to have the ultimate car experience. Walk in within 45 minutes, test drive your car, credit approved, paperwork done, you're gone in your new car. DeSotoAutosales.com, 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales.
We are joined now by TJ Reeves down in Tampa. He reminds me the Bermuda Triangle's got nothing on this coaching triangle. We've got Memphis
convoluted.
Goes to Kiffin, comes to around Memphis to Ole Miss. Norvell, of course, goes to Tallahassee, Florida, while that's replacing Willie Taggart, who ends up taking the job in Boca, where Kiffin came from.
Perfect Venn diagram.
And by the way, you worked the FAU title game with Kiffin beating UAB. What was he like there? Obviously, everybody knew he was leaving.
Well, it's great to be with you, and it was bizarre to get down there with all of those reports that he had already taken the job at Ole Miss, and then you got to coach the game. And I give him and his staff a lot of credit, and those players a lot of credit. They were unfazed. If that was supposed to be a distraction, good Lord. They dump trucked UAB last week, and he did a fantastic job, obviously, of having his team ready to go. And he had talked about it all week, that he doesn't discuss those situations with his team. It's not an issue. They block it out, and, boy, they lived up to it. But this is some wild stuff, boys, with Mike Norvell leaving. You know, I'm obviously, as an alum, I'm thrilled that the Tigers get into the American Championship game. You're bummed that he's leaving, though, to go to Florida State. I got a lot of Florida State friends and acquaintances that are all elated. They're grilling me about how things are going to go. So now in the soap opera this afternoon, I don't know how much you guys have covered this, but one of the premier recruits in the South is a Jacksonville quarterback named Jeff Sims, a dual-threat quarterback. And Mike Norvell was at Jeff Sims' home, I believe, on Monday. I'm not a big recruiting guy, but he was trying to secure Jeff Sims' verbal commitment. Well, suddenly this afternoon, Jeff Sims announced he's not coming to Florida State. And within about 2 or 3 hours of that getting out, Willie Taggart is the Florida Atlantic head coach, apparently. Brett, do we still need the Venn diagram on figuring out that Jeff Sims may be going with Willie Taggart down to South Florida and Florida Atlantic?
Natural.
I don't know that for sure, but maybe. I don't know.
And there are a lot of different alliances and a lot of different loyalties. And you mentioned, the torn for you as a proud Tiger alum, proudest day possibly ever. I think when they run out on the field against Penn State, that will eclipse everything. That'll just be almost cold chill, pinch me, can you believe it moments for everybody that has followed and watched and like you, a proud alum, love the Tigers through the years. And TJ, look, the Ole Miss fans, we're there. We kind of feel like, what the heck, worth trying, about have tried everything through the years on the coaching front. And you feel like if it works and works well, he might be on the way to something bigger someday. And if it doesn't, got to start all over again.
Yes. And so, in every December we do this with jobs and maneuvering, and it's probably not done yet because there's going to be more than one college coach end up in the NFL, whether it's Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma, Matt Rule's name keeps getting kicked around as the Baylor coach for the NFL. We've talked before on your show about Brian Kelly maybe to the NFL, the Notre Dame coach. And if Oklahoma is open and Notre Dame is open, the circus doesn't stop with this stuff. There's no doubt about that. So
where would
I know you guys are close to it up there with the Kiffin thing. And you've been talking a lot about it, but it's a fascinating situation that he's now back and he's needling Nick Saban right away. And, I had somebody tell me a little while ago in an interview that I'm doing that Kiffin is reportedly, I don't know if you guys have talked about this, was in South Haven today looking at a couple of players that were there in South Haven, Mississippi. So he has hit the ground running and recruiting, just like Norvell has at Florida State. And the craziness with the coaching.
I want a clarification. Did you tell me Mike went to that player's house? He'd already sort of verbally committed to Willie Taggart and to Florida State, and he's supposed to be the number one coaching quarterback prospect in the state of Florida. And he decided to go not to Florida State, but to Florida Atlantic?
Maybe the Florida Atlantic. I don't know.
Wow.
If I have it correct, and again, I'm not a recruiting guru, but I believe this was the quarterback that Norvell went and visited on Monday. His name is Jeff Sims in Jacksonville. He is a 5-star quarterback who suddenly this afternoon decommitted and put it on social media that he was now no longer verbally committed to Florida State. And then within 2 or 3 hours, Willie Taggart is suddenly the Florida Atlantic coach. And I don't know. Again, I don't do this for a living. There are way too many adults that spend way too much time trying to figure out where the 17 and 18-year-olds are going to school. Listen to one of them about what's going to happen.
I'm just
saying the what if.
You're just trying to keep up with 2 twin 13-year-olds, aren't you?
You got that right. I got my own issues in my own house. That's exactly right. I got my own recruiting battle with those two.
That's incredible if that is the case.
That is a coup. That is a coup if he gets that kid to Florida Atlantic. But it's not done. I have no idea.
You were around Taggart when he was at South Florida. He went to Oregon for the 1 year, and that was pretty mixed. And then he got this opportunity to go home to Tallahassee, Florida, and to take this job, and that's been a disaster. What in the world happened, do you think?
I think the situation was probably too big for him. I think this is a perfect setup if it's Florida Atlantic. And the Florida State fans have got to be rejoicing. And Mike Norvell's got to be rejoicing by extension, because if his buyout is lessened even some, it's reportedly a $17 million buyout. If it's lessened even some by him getting another head coaching job, then Florida State, which is cash-strapped, which keeps having to do cash calls for the donors over and over again, they're going to get some relief from that. So it's actually going to help Florida State in that regard. But I think, Saturday Night Live was known for so many years as what? Not ready for primetime players, right? Maybe Willie Taggart not ready for the prime time of the big Power 5 job at a program, because remember, he was only 7-5 at Oregon, and the Florida State fans are quick to point to that. And look at how well Oregon has done in his absence with Mario Cristobal this year, leading them to the Pac-12 championship and the Rose Bowl. So.
It happened to Dan Hawkins. He was great at Boise. He wasn't at Colorado. I think it has happened to Charlie Strong. He's going to have to maybe start back over as a coordinator, and would be a great one. Would be a glamorous hire for somebody. TJ, I didn't realize this. You were talking about the offset, the money being mitigated. I think in a lot of these contracts, it's mitigated if they're a head coach. But like Matt Luke going to be offensive line coach and Chad Morris going to be offensive coordinator at Auburn, that's 2 checks. They get the full check from the previous employer and a pretty good check now.
Is that right?
If it's not head coach, it's not money offset from what I understand.
Well, and, we could go on and on. You had a situation at Memphis with Josh Pastner with, what are you agreeing to? What are you agreeing to over and over again now? When I saw the thing earlier this week that there are 5 strength coaches, not position coaches, not coordinators, there are 5 strength coaches that are making $600,000 or more.
Yeah.
And there's one of them making $1 million, or $900,000 or $1 million.
That the Alabama
Where
one?
are we headed?
The Alabama guy
with the money.
He may be getting to $1 million because now Lane Kiffin's after him.
And the Ohio State guy that started at Florida that really is kind of the godfather of all of the strength and conditioning guys. And
but where are we headed with the money?
Here's
when
where
coordinators
we're
are
headed.
making $2 million and the coaches have guaranteed deals that they get paid whether they're fired for year 5 and year 6 that they never coached, it's crazy what the money is.
Here's where we're headed,
There's no
TJ. I was told that the current CBS deal, the 2:30 CBS game with SEC, that's been about a $50 to $55 million deal. They have one more year. They have 2020, and then CBS thinks they have right of first refusal, and that's to be determined, and they probably do. And I think the SEC, as a partner, wants to.
Well, there's a clause in there somewhere. Somebody can find that out.
It's up for grabs, according to
the clause.
to
I know what Brett's talking about. What Brett's talking about is ambiguous.
Next deal going
Greg
to
Sankey, the commissioner, even made reference to that it's ambiguous, and CBS came out immediately with Sean McManus and said, no
ambiguity at all.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that. But you're right. I mean, that's going to be mega right.
The next deal,
mega right.
They think it's going to be $200 million 4 times. So we're going to pay every
For
linebackers coach $2 million
for a game.
No,
not
the
for a
the
fleet
package,
of games.
for the 2:30 game. Yeah,
for a game. That's incredible. And look, you look at the ratings and the revenue that they're able to pull in from it. Sure, I mean that's if you're CBS, that has become iconic for them.
You
now,
could even
over the course
see
of the last 20 years.
You could even see if somebody else got it, maybe even CBS instead of the 2:30 that we've been used to, kind of Vern and Gary and now Brad and Gary. You could see that go to maybe 6 o'clock.
I don't think so. I don't think it goes to prime time. I think that they would want to keep it right there, just from the SEC standpoint. Now, the SEC is trying to have 3 or 4 games in prime time every week through the ESPN, ABC, and SEC network deals. So you cloud it more if it's at night. Even if it's on a network, I think you cloud it more. I think that slot on that network, ingrained in everybody, come find that game.
It is.
I think that's the appeal. So I might disagree with you.
I would have to agree that if it could go up from $55 million to $200,
they want to put it on
that
1
time
o'clock in the
slot
morning.
must be pretty darn good, or they wouldn't do it. You brought up a good point earlier, and we didn't examine this, but this could easily happen if Oklahoma and Notre Dame are both open now, or Baylor too. You throw those 3 in. Where's the coach coming from? Because
exactly.
Would it be somebody
and
just got
there's
nobody open right now?
I mean, Urban Meyer's name will be brought up for Notre Dame, obviously. I don't know about the Oklahoma inroad and who that might be. Might there be some sentiment if Bob Stoops is gone, if Lincoln Riley is gone, that you go after Josh Heupel, who was there and was dismissed before by Bob Stoops? I don't know. And Heupel played there and quarterback there. I don't know. So those would be very interesting. Stay tuned in about 3 weeks here when the NFL kicks in with the coaching carousel.
The whole thing will start, honestly, with Lincoln Riley and with Jason Garrett. If Garrett is dismissed, watch for Jerry to make a big play for Lincoln Riley. I think that would be the first one to go.
Never mind the money. You'd have to take a swing at that. If you just got in the coaching business and the Cowboys came calling, you'd have to take a try at that, wouldn't you?
If that's your background,
Of
too,
course.
that's his team.
And the Cowboys have won a Super Bowl with a former Oklahoma head coach.
They sure have. Barry Switzer, who, by the way,
Barry Switzer.
He was
That's
in
exactly
the
right.
what was he in the top 30 or 40 of the 150 greatest
I think
coaches?
deservingly.
Yeah. President's Cup going on right now. Are you locked in? Are you going to be watching TJ Reeves?
I am not able to see it right now, but yes, there will be a lot of it on. And we were talking a couple of weeks ago. They actually have a 16-hour time difference, but a lot of this will be on in the evening and prime time for us. I don't know if it will be concluded around 11 p.m. midnight Memphis time, but something like that. So, and I'm sure that part of this is the Golf Channel and the tour getting together with the organizers in Australia and saying, hey, we need to play maybe a little earlier because there's going to be much more TV audience. Here we go again with the revenue. There's much more revenue
but you know
than
what?
if it's on at 2, 3, 4 a.m.
It actually makes a lot of sense. Well, right now it is at 10:15 there Thursday
Correct.
morning right now. So
they are 17 hours ahead of you. That's correct.
That is correct. So so this thing is going to be in prime time for us tonight.
Man, that's the bad news Barnes time machine there, isn't it? When it's already Thursday and we're watching it on TV.
Yes, the international dateline and the time difference and all of that. And I saw that Tiger is in the opening group. I thought that was interesting that he
Already
put himself
two
out
up.
there first. And he almost holed out from the first fairway. And I was talking to a good friend of mine that is a huge golf guy and is in the media, and he said, I would have loved Tiger just to say, hey, give me Patrick Reed with me, and let's go as the first pairing, and then everybody just cool it. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. But I guess Webb Simpson stepped up, and Webb Simpson came in the room apparently and said to Tiger and Steve Stricker, I have no problem playing with Patrick Reed. Put him with me. I'm fine with it. Let's do it. Let's go.
Does
That's
Patrick
why
Reed
they're playing in their match.
Does he bring a lot of this on himself?
Yes. We've talked about it before that, I mean, you continue to do these things. You're needling people to begin with. There's cheating allegations in your background. There's an ugly situation where he doesn't even speak to his own parents, his own family, doesn't do anything with them. Yes, a lot of it is self-inflicted, really, unfortunately, with him. And he's the perfect villain. He is the perfect villain for situations like this. So let's see how he plays. I'm curious how he's going to play. And more than likely, he's going to play well because he seemed to relish this role in the Ryder Cup for sure.
He did. Although that was 2 Ryder Cups ago, he did not play that
so much
well
in Paris.
In the last one.
How do you get that crossways with your parents?
I do know from when we talked about this before, and I know enough without getting into all of the soap opera. A lot of it has to do with his wife, Justine, and there was a huge problem, I guess, with her giving him career advice, coaching advice, because his father had always been the coach, and that started the rift, and he sided with the wife. And when he won at Augusta, they live in Augusta. He did not even go and see them and speak to them after winning the green jacket. That's how bad it is.
That's bad.
That's how bad it was. I don't know that it is still that way right this second, but that's how bad it was. That gives you some insight.
We were talking earlier. Freddie Couples has won a couple of President's Cups as the captain, and yet he's never considered, that I've seen, to be a guy for the Ryder Cup. Why do you think that is?
I thought, didn't he do that at one point, but he hasn't done it yet, I guess. Well, it's just interesting, but it may come back around to being his time. You eventually get to enough of these where, he was a great match player in both. Mm-hmm. Why not? If he wants to do it. Why not? I'm one of those that believed when Azinger won it in 2008, where is it written that he didn't have to couldn't come back and be the captain in 2010 and 2012 and 2014?
He made
Louisville to do it.
He made it happen.
He did. He absolutely did. And I don't know. Well, he did. Didn't he come back one other time? I thought he's come back once since then.
I think, he did. But the policy was you couldn't do it 2 in a row by policy, and so they wanted to divvy it up and have other people do it. So.
Policy? What do we need that for?
They're supposed to trample the international team that is mixed of the Australians and the Asians and the South Africans here. But that's why you line up and play these matches. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it is a one-sided affair, if it ends up being close with some of these matches. And you're right, we get to see a lot of it.
Ryder Cup captain, Tiger or Phil first? Probably Phil?
A lot of people are wondering if Phil will end up being the Ryder Cup captain the next go-around. or not. We'll
The
see.
one in New York?
Stricker, right? It's Stricker coming on the next one here, and Stricker has already done it too, right?
Right, because that's in Wisconsin where he's from, and
beloved.
And then I think it's the one after that. So 4 years from now, or 3 years from now, that it would be Phil in New York, right? Isn't that where?
Yeah, used to PGA of America had a lot of stroke, had all of it with naming the captain. I feel sorry for Larry Nelson. I mean, 2-time PGA champion, winning a PGA used to almost get you at least one Ryder Cup captainship. Winning 2 for sure would, and he's never been close.
Just it's now an elite thing, and they want some of the more modern guys, I guess, as part of that too. And we'll see. It'll be fun to watch the golf. It's cold in a lot of places. I don't know how cold it is in Memphis tonight, but it's still 70s here. But it's cold in a lot of places. At least they get to watch the golf there in Australia.
TJ, how about Jameson, the 456 Sunday?
I was just going to ask. Is Jameis? Are he and Arians going to be a pair together, or is this it for Jameis?
We will see. I will say this: it's not dull. He continues to throw interceptions, but he continues to overcome them. And I love winning locker rooms. So the stat line had interceptions on it. It had 456 yards on it, but it also had 38-35 Bucks over Colts for a happy locker room. I'll take 3 more of those the last 3 weeks of the season, boys.
If that were a golf scorecard, that's a lot of circles and a lot of squares.
Yeah. How about the?
I was let me tell you the quick story. I'm standing down on the field with a couple of people that I work with, including an assistant coach that could hear me, and I said he's got 398 yards in the third quarter, and the coach kind of looked at me too, and I said he's got 398 yards right now in the third quarter of the game. So he ended up with 456, which was a personal high. There's no doubt he's got talent. There's also no doubt he's got an interception problem. But if you're able to overcome him and win games, that's what's going to save him. So let's see if we can get a couple more wins, or maybe all 3 wins here to close out the season. It'd be great to win the last 6 for the Bucks. We'll find out.
How about that showdown with New Orleans and San Francisco? Jimmy G and Drew Brees, huh?
Yep. Well, I mean, I've seen both of them at field level, and obviously the Saints are tough to beat in that building, but the 49ers going there and winning, what a story. Because they can beat you all kinds of ways, playing defensively, running the ball some, and then win a game like that. The only sad part is that either San Francisco or Seattle most likely is going to have like 11, 12, maybe a 13th win, and have to go play the NFC East champion in the first round of the playoffs on the road because of the playoff system. We'll see what happens.
It is crazy. All right, my friend, have a great weekend. I know you'll be tuned to the Tigers and the Vols Saturday afternoon.
That'll be a blast this weekend. A lot of fun with all of this going on. Good to be with you. And the coaching carousel still not done spinning yet. We'll keep an eye on it.
Thank you much. We appreciate it. That is our guy. That is TJ Reeves down in Tampa. He's brought to you in part by James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. If you're a man and you like fine clothes, that's the place you got to go. Right there. Poplar and by Perkins, right there in the Laurelwood Shopping Center, as we mentioned. It is the home of Stant. In case you don't know, the Stant shirts. Oh, my goodness. There's the fashion where you basically walk into the store, and the only place you can buy a Stant shirt or Stant pants now is at James Davis Men's Store. So you walk in, they take 3 quick measurements, and now they've got the perfect shirt for you. They send it away for $98 it starts. 9 days later, you've got a shirt you won't believe. Now they're doing it with pants, and this is going to take over the place. They do it so beautifully, and of course, they've got the Paul Batenley suits with the fabric that goes with you everywhere. You can have it in classic fit. You can have it in the tighter fit, the slim look if you are able to pull that off. And right now, those Paul Batenley suits normally $5.95 a piece, $7.95. They've had this for a couple of years. Then there's Toomey. Then there's Shinola. Watches for Shinola and the best luggage you've ever had. I've still got the bag I've had for about, 7, 8, maybe more. 9 years. This is the best piece of luggage that you can buy anywhere. It never breaks down. Always looks good, too. And you always will get the kind of service that you can count on. You'll get to know the person that takes care of you, and they will steer you in the right direction so you look like $1 million. Free alteration. Sometimes it's same day. All you got to do is get there and see the guys. Shine or Van, everybody there waiting on you at James Davis Men's Store, where the holiday shopping is in full swing. We take a quick time out. We are back in just a second. We will chat with Jason Munz, who broke the story a little bit today on Ryan Boyce. He's next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles, when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. Their newly renovated drive-in repair shop is open to the public. Whether it'll be your everyday driver, farm equipment, fleet vehicle, or heavy-duty truck, their ASE-certified technicians will get you back on the road. The on-site dyno is ready to run all the necessary diagnostic testing. From preventative maintenance to complete overhauls, Mid-South Power can handle it all. Stop in today at 3288 Mill Branch Road or call 901-396-0710 and online at mid-southpower.com.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Give them what they really want this holiday season. The gift of IMAX and blockbuster movies with gift cards from Malco Theaters. Malco gift cards are the perfect gift for any occasion. Available at all theater box offices and online at Malco.com. Happy holidays from Malco Theaters.
The construction reduction event is on at Wolf Chase Honda. Exciting changes are in the works and inventory must be reduced. Get the best deals right now on all remaining 2019 Hondas while they last. Every new car, every certified, every used car, price to go. Get pre-approved now at wolfchasehonda.com. Wolf Chase Honda is expanding and our prices are dropping. Don't miss these savings. Act now. This huge construction reduction event ends soon.
For the best lineup of quality, fuel-efficient, and fun-to-drive vehicles, get to Wolf Chase Honda and Wolf Chase Nissan. Over 1,000 new certified and pre-owned vehicles in one great location. Catch the savings now during our huge model year-end sales event. Score an amazing deal at Wolf Chase Honda and Wolf Chase Nissan and get to the game in style at Germantown Road and Highway 64. Family-owned since 1981.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
Here once again
are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Hello, welcome back. And Jason Munt's going to join us in a second. I'll let you know this portion of the show brought to you by Memphis Robo Golf Pro. Oh, I love talking about Robert Jackins in that place out on the driving range out on Macon Road in Cordova, because this is the place. This is where you learn golf, and this is where you have fun playing golf. They got a simulator. It's the best. It's like you're playing Pebble Beach or you're playing whatever golf course you want to play. You want to go check out Kohler, where they're going to have the Ryder Cup in a couple of years, go check it out. You'll love it. I mean, it is wonderful. And they do rent out the simulator room. They have parties there. They have winter leagues there. They have small corporate outings there. They have date night there. You name it, you can just have a good time. It's a space where you can bring food or drink in and just have fun. And this is, by the way, a place to practice golf when it's freezing out like right now and your swing has been grooved and you don't want to lose it. You go to Robo Golf Pro Memphis. If you want lessons, you go to Robo Golf Pro Memphis and you talk to Robert Jackins. Nobody can teach you on that robot like he can. I mean, anywhere. Because he's the guy that programs the robot to emulate the perfect swing for you. He figures that out. You're not Ben Hogan, but you could be like Ben Hogan because you'll find your perfect swing, and Robert can do that for you. 300-2720, 901-300-2720 to speak to Robert about lessons or about just coming and enjoying the simulator. You can't beat this complex. Robo Golf Pro Memphis. Jason Munz joins us now, and Jason, you broke the story today. Ryan Boyce, young man from East, lovely family, has decided to enter the transfer portal. I think it's great for him. I want him to have a college basketball career. It was clear by now that he wasn't going to be able to break into a real rotation here. But what do you think was the reason he did it right now?
That's a good question. I mean, I think that's probably it. I think it's more or less the realization that, maybe I'm sure he knew that it was going to be tough to crack, to get very much playing time at all. Given things when they were the way they were when they started the season with Lester Quinones and James Wiseman, and then, maybe he got his hopes up when Lester got hurt, when James, when the suspension, so to speak, was handed down. Maybe he got his hopes up, thinking that would mean more playing time for him, and it didn't exactly turn out that way. And so maybe that was it. Maybe he realized, like, listen, if we're down these two guys, anybody on the roster, two guys anywhere, and I still can't really get on the floor very much, then maybe this is going to be it for me, and decided to pull the trigger.
And it's the way of the college sports world now. I don't think there should be any hard feelings any direction. And my question is, Jason, and pure speculation on my part. Well, I'm not speculating. I'm asking, you think this will be the only one, or you think before the spring semester starts, there could be one more just because there's one basketball and a lot of talent?
Well, you said it. I mean, this is kind of the way it is now. It's not a surprise if that happens. It wouldn't be a surprise by any stretch of the imagination. Now, if you'd have asked me, 2-3 weeks ago, I would have said, yeah. I would have felt better. I would have felt like it was more likely that they might lose one or two people, two players, multiple players before the spring semester starts. But now I'm not so sure. I mean, guys are, there is a nice rotation. Penny played 11 guys, played all 11 guys at UAB the other day, and needed all 11 of them to get that win. So, I don't know. I'm not as confident now as I would have been 2 or 3 weeks ago as you asked the same thing then. But you never know about these things. You never know what people are talking about behind closed doors. Who's listening to who. So anything's possible, but I feel like it's less likely now than say 2-3 weeks ago.
I'm right along your track. I would have thought, and the likely candidates in my mind might have been Isaiah Maurice. Didn't play the first game at all, and then the next 8 games he's played and started 4. So he was in need, especially with Wiseman out. So I don't think he's going to go anywhere, and he really can't go anywhere because he's already transferred once and he's a senior. The other guy that might have been the one could have been Tyler Harris, because Tyler was used to being a starter and a star, and the ball with the ball in his hands, but he's already showed you he will be in this rotation, and they'll give him the ball for big moments like they did in Brooklyn against North Carolina State. I don't see anybody else that is out there on this roster that Jaden Hardaway is not going to transfer from his own father. So I don't see where there's anybody out there. The one guy, and I don't think he's going to do it because he's already sat out a year and he left Louisville, and that's Lance Thomas. I don't see anybody on that roster. It makes no sense for anybody else to transfer. I would be shocked.
I agree with you. I think Tyler Harris, you and I are kind of on the same wavelength there, that if it was going to be somebody, had we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that it was probably going to be him because, like you said,
shots.
It looked like he was going to, he was kind of struggling a little bit early, and it looked like, that there might not be enough ball to go around for him. But he has shown these last 4 or 5 games that he is your long-range, big shot specialist. I mean, and I feel like there's always going to be a place for your dead-eye, sharpshooting,
for sure,
guy. He's kind of like a lefty reliever in baseball. A left-handed specialist, if you will. He's a 3-point specialist, but he does do other things. He gives you good defense. He gives you good hustle. He can do a lot of different things, and of course he's one of the most experienced players on this roster. But yeah, he's coming along strong, and I think I feel a lot better about him staying today than I did a few weeks ago.
And Jason, how many threes per game do you think Tyler Harris needs to make? It's not the scoring load he had last year. How many do you think he needs to make a game to really be effective?
Like 2 to 3,
I
somewhere
agree.
in that range. I mean, he showed it just against UAB. I don't have it in front of me, but I think he hit 2 or 3 threes, and I know he did against Ole Miss. He had 3 3-pointers, and listen, I mean, these are big shots that he's making, and it wasn't a 3-pointer against NC State, but he had a huge shot against NC State. If I'm correct on the opponent there, I'm not sure, but or maybe it was Bradley. It was one of the two. But yeah, no, he's really shown these last 4 or 5 games that there is a spot for him on this team, and a key spot. I mean, it's not just a guy who is there for depth. I mean, he serves a pretty pivotal function on this team, and Memphis is better with it.
I know we're all excited for this game on Saturday. It's been sold out for a couple of months. There will be over 22,000 in the ballpark. It's going to be, I think, just a great atmosphere. And both coaches have downplayed what occurred last year. They're playing nice, although every story that I read, there is no commitment at all from Rick Barnes about continuing this series. Do you think that crowd will be evidence enough for him to maybe back off that stance?
I doubt it. I mean, he knows. He knows what the crowd's going to be. He knows already, by now. He knows what this series can, what a good thing it is for both schools and for the state. And so if he hasn't, I'm like you. Yes, he has said in the last few days. He said, we'll see. We'll talk about it. We'll see where things are, and by the time when it comes time to look at the schedule again, we'll see where things are then. Listen, if you aren't ready to commit today and say let's get this thing re-upped, then you're probably not going to. And yeah, I'm like you. I don't see. I don't see it. I'll believe it when I do see it, but until then, I don't feel good about the continuation of this series.
I don't either. I think everybody's saying the right things right now and
Yeah.
marking time till a year from now in Nashville.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Rick Barnes is very well aware of what it's going to look like and how electric it's going to be inside that arena on Saturday. And I don't think any measure of him actually seeing it with his own two eyes is going to convince him if he's not already convinced. And he hasn't said anything yet that I've heard that would indicate he is convinced that this series needs to continue.
Yeah, I did think he had one telling thing. He said, well, there's lots of basketball teams in this state, and we are the state school.
Yeah, it was very that was a very strange, there were two parts to that quote. It was a very strange quote. It's like, yes, there are a lot of schools in the state, but there's really only one that is a non-conference, school that makes sense for you guys, for Tennessee to play, and obviously that is Memphis. And so for him it felt a little disingenuous on his part to kind of allude to the fact that we can't play everybody in the state.
Well, they play Vanderbilt in conference,
right?
So
right.
It was a wholly idiotic statement.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
WHOLLY, not as in church terms.
Yeah, we got that part of it. Well, do you? I love Atlantis, and I know we're skipping ahead to next year or even the year after that, but I do think it's Penny's agenda to try to play as good a schedule as he can. And I mean, he backed off as quickly as you asked it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, or whenever it was. I think it was when Rick said he didn't think this thing would be continued. He immediately said, look, I'm over last year. This is an important series for the state. So I believe Penny is very serious about playing as many good schools as he can.
Oh, yeah. No, and I agree with you. I feel like he was genuine in his remarks that there's no good reason not to play this, keep this series going, and like you said, one of the biggest reasons why for the Memphis side is because Tennessee is a strong basketball program, and it helps Memphis to have that on their resume, whether it's a win or a loss. So
it's a big one.
And you brought up Atlantis. I mean, that field is just crazy good. I mean, there's going to be Wichita State. There's obviously Duke, Texas A&M.
Ohio State's in that grouping, isn't it? I think Ohio State's in that.
You're right, and I think Creighton is also in there, and there are a couple of others. But no, wherever you got to go to play the best possible. I mean, we're in the era of all the smoke, and it's no coincidence that these games, these really nice non-conference games, are showing up on the schedule, on the future schedule.
What's the thing you're most looking forward to between the Vols and the Tigers?
Ooh, because there's so much. It's tough to narrow that down. I mean, 22,000 plus. It's going to. I have a feeling it's going to feel like an NCAA tournament game.
Oh, more so.
And
it'll be more heated than the NCAA tournament arena.
Right. And last year was fun, and it was loud, and it was there were at times it was electric, but this time, Memphis is much better talent-wise than it was last year, and so that's obviously going to be a big part of it. The actual game itself should be, at least on paper, it seems like it will be a better game. And so, but if like we're getting down to specifics, I want to see how Alex Lomax responds to that hostile of an environment. I mean, so far so good. He's been the cool, calm, collect, even-keeled, level-headed leader of this Tiger team. Well, this will be a test. I mean, it'll be a test for anybody. But if Alex Lomax can prove, if he can pass this one, then the next 2.5 years are going to be extremely, extremely fun for Memphis fans.
He's kind of become the basketball version of Brady White, hasn't he? Alex Lomax.
He has, yeah. I mean, there were some knocks, people who weren't quite sold on him after his first year, during and after his first year, and then he didn't blink, he didn't pout, he didn't sulk, he went to work. And has he drastically revamped his game? I wouldn't say so. I think he's just gotten better, and he's gotten older and better and wiser, and he looked really, really, really good. And I look forward to seeing him, how he handles, because he's going to be probably the most important part of that game Saturday. I mean, those freshmen are going to go in there, and it's going to be like nothing they've probably ever played in front of, and it's going to be up to Alex Lomax. A large part of it's going to be up to Alex Lomax.
Is that not an amazing turnaround? I mean, think about this. This is 180. This is why we love college athletics. In the summer, not that long ago, if you had talked about this matchup or anything down the stretch or the NCAA tournament and the important players in the scheme of the University of Memphis for 2019 and 2020, you would have clearly said anybody but Alex Lomax. Alex Lomax, you were wondering, was he going to get any minutes? Because you had Damian Ball and Boogie Ellis, and you weren't sure which one of those guys was going to be the point guard. And you had Quinones, who was a sharpshooter, and you're trying to figure out where everybody's going to be. And here it is. You're saying to me the most important guy is going to be Alex Lomax, a kid who we didn't think would even really be in the regular rotation this year.
It is wild how it works out. I mean, even back in October, as recently as October, it would have sounded absurd. Of course, at that time we didn't know that James Wiseman wasn't going to play,
right?
Quinones
Or
wasn't going to play.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I think even if Lester was still healthy, I would say Alex Lomax is probably going to be the X factor in this game. Again, it is crazy. I would have said probably 6 or 7 names before I ever said or even thought that Alex Lomax needed to be mentioned talking about this game here. But it is. It's a great story, and he's done really, really well for himself in a lot of areas. And I mean, heck, even I watched him closely at UAB. He got that technical. He got hit with the personal foul, and then he gets hit with the technical, and he immediately Penny yanks him out of the game, sends him to the opposite end of the bench, tells him to put his workout shirt on. Like, you're not going back in. He told him immediately, you're not going back in. So he goes to the end of the bench. He could have blown up. He could have checked out. Neither of those things happened. He came back out in the second half and led them to a win. I mean, he's the story of the first quarter of the season, and I think it's fantastic.
I do too. I think his defense on Lamont Turner is going to be incredibly important on Saturday. Yeah. Thank you, Jason. We appreciate it as always. I'll see you in Knoxville.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Jason Munz, beat writer for the Commercial Appeal for Tiger Hoops, and it's brought to you in part by Supercuts. I know he's always looking sharp. He probably goes to Supercuts. Brett looks sharp today. He's always got that perfect coif. And that's Supercuts. They do it for you all, and you always feel good when you walk out of Supercuts because you look like a million. You do. And there's 15 locations. Go to supercuts.com. You'll find the nearest location to you. Walk through the doors and talk. Just ask details, because details matter at Supercuts. They know all the new fashions. That's the hairstylist's job, and they take their job seriously. And every haircut ends with the hot towel finish. You feel invigorated. You feel relaxed all at the same time. Go see for yourself. I'm not kidding. And you know you're going to walk out feeling good because every time you walk out of the door at Supercuts, you look good. Back in a minute. We got crunch time coming on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find real sports talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
And now, a page from the diary of Flo.
Dear Diary, there's something about protecting people's homes through Progressive that inspires me, because I just had an idea for a book. Well, it was originally an idea for a movie based on a play inspired by a podcast. But the idea is how you can save when you bundle home and auto. Might not be the best idea for a book.
Save an average of 17% on car insurance when you bundle home and auto through Progressive.
Maybe a radio commercial? Guess we'll never know.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Hewlett & Dunn, nestled on Old Town Square in Collierville, has 4,000 square feet of the largest boot selection in 200 miles. International boot legends Luke Casey, Double H, Red Wing, Ariat, Justin, and Tony Lama. Hewlett & Dunn has rubber hunting boots by Dry Shod and recently has expanded the selection of safety work boots. Filson Hunting Gear, biggest selection in 3 states, and now carrying Duckhead. Western wear, hunting attire, jeans, belts, hats, and more at 111 North Center Street, Collierville on Old Town Square. You need to stop by Hewlett & Dunn? You bet your boots.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Final portion of our show brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai, and of course, Genesis of Olive Branch. What a car. I've got one. I can tell you I'm proud of it. I'm honored to actually have a car that nice. It is something else. It is a ride where you get on the highway and you go, whoop, you push that thing down, it just sort of takes off. But, you know, in the windshield, it tells me the speedometer, so I know if I've got to lower it really quick. This new technology is amazing. They got it on the Genesis. They got it on the Hyundais. Both new cars on that lot. In Olive Branch, 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, every new car. And then take into account the Hyundai assurance with the shopper assurance. Ask Chris True about that. Whew, you're assured. And you know you've got great technology and you've got great service. It's the perfect marriage. It's the way car business should be done. Go check it out. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch and Genesis of Olive Branch. It's crunch time.
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time. You are looking live. It's crunch time. In your life, have you seen anything like that?
Golly, I don't remember that one.
Take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
Crunch time, that's the frustrating part.
Oh, no, not again.
Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
He throw those ears forward. He was in stroke mode.
This is stupid. It's obviously crunch time.
Boop, boop, boop. That's what you're getting.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. I've learned today that the last playing captain of the President's Cup was Hale Irwin at the very first President's Cup, and the last playing captain of a U.S. Ryder Cup team was the great Arnold Palmer in 1963.
I just learned that Tiger and Justin Thomas went 3 up already.
Early being opened
early in their round.
Just open that can and you know what?
Melbourne. I also learned today that inconsistent seam heights and changes in behavior by the players that really kind of produce different launch angles and exit velocities. That's what caused dramatic increases in home runs. 6,776 this year. You know, that's an 11% increase. They had a 27-page report by 4 doctors, I guess they're physicists, to explain all of that.
You know, a guy like Brooks Robinson from Drew's team, you know, he was a great batsman, hitting behind the runner.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessary now.
Oh, you know.
I mean, go up there and swing for the fences.
Just hit a home.
Could have done without nothing more ludicrous than reading DeMaurice Smith huff and puff about the NFL Players Association, and the next time the 2021 CBA comes open, they have a stupid hashtag already, stay ready, and they're bracing for the membership for a strike or a lockout. Billionaires win over millionaires in every labor strike.
No question.
They will get back in fast. They're like us. They can't afford to miss 2 paychecks.
Speaking of almost billionaires, after Garrett Cole signed that 9-year, $324 million deal, what I could have done without is in the 2 deals that Scott Boras has done in this past week.
What's he netted?
He's netted about $17 million in 2 days between Garrett Cole and
Strasburg.
And Steven Strasburg.
And he had a good rest of the year otherwise.
Oh.
Good. He's got a guy named Mike Trout.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Well, does he have Bryce Harper? He's got Bryce Harper, too.
He's got them all. I wonder what his biggest worry in life is. He's got to be worried about something.
Everybody does.
Everybody worries about something.
Probably if the net jet's going to be on time.
Or if the security guards got his kids to school safely. I mean, it's got to be something.
Got to be.
Keep an eye on the President's Cup tonight. Playing Captain Tiger Woods. Good golf on TV till about bedtime. Big Ten Conference play continues. Tulsa in the AAC at home against Boise State. You know, Tulsa lost over the weekend to Arkansas State. Arkansas State's not bad, though.
But earlier, Tulsa beat a good team. So who can tell?
Grizzlies in Phoenix and Kawhi back to Toronto tonight. He gets his ring, doesn't he?
I really kind of want to see that. That will be kind of cool. We want to thank Ryan Silverfield. You can listen to that if you go onto our website. Mike DeCourcy, Rick Horro, TJ Reeves, Jason Munz. Tomorrow we will be at Family Leisure. It's Toys for Tots starting at 7 o'clock in the morning. Please stop by, see us, see Peter, see Greg and Eli, see John Harden, see us all. It's a big day for us. We'll also have Bill Bender, Elliot Perry, Russell Copeland, Greg Gaston, and Blake Lovell. It'll be a busy day. We'll see you there. Have a great night, everybody.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Hey everybody, this is Coach Penny Hardaway. There's a comfort in being home, and to me, comfort food and family makes Memphis the place to be, along with having the best basketball fans in America. I like pulling into Corky's and getting one of their family party packs. How can you go wrong with pork, beans, slaw, sauce, and buns for only $5.99 a person? It is so easy. I can call ahead, order online, or just pop in. Tailgating can't get any easier. Tell them Penny sent you.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
When you're diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, a lot of questions run through your mind.
What am I going to do?
What are my options?
What did I do wrong?
We've had those thoughts too.
But some questions can help you move forward. Visit findyourmbcvoice.com for an interactive guide to help you learn the next steps to take after an MBC diagnosis.
And how to ask the questions that lead to an open and informed conversation with your doctor.
Start finding your voice today at findyourmbcvoice.com.
So, how's the Christmas shopping going? Well, Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch is here to make it a lot easier. Everyone loves something from Frontier. Ladies' boutique-style clothing, Carhartt